happening in Monrovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepan, congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon.
You wanna get the news update, to spoon.
What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you got today?
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Yes, what you got today?
Spoon.
Beseku.
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Bada.
Spoon.
Skibidi dabado.
Spoon TV. Spoon Entertainment.
Kuwa. Beseku, kudileo. Kuwa, kudileo.
Total Spoon. To get your information. Total Spoon. To be part of the discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon television.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, Stan coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
Total Spoon. To get your information. Total Spoon. To be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepan, congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon.
You wanna get the news update, to spoon.
What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you got today?
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Yes, what you got today?
Spoon.
Beseku.
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Okay. Good evening, just wherever you are. It is a pleasure to be here again with another edition of the Spoon Talk, your most fascinating nighttime show from Odious, Congo
Yes,
Town
I.
in
A
Monrovia,
special
Liberia. Welcome to it,
one from the
wherever
CEO
you are and
standing with the
whatever
spoon.
you
And your
are
boy,
doing.
Friday the South
It's not
Band.
the one
Charges on the
you alone
rhythm.
time of usual coming very so coming tonight and one of everything happens 101 times we also cut out here tonight tonight on both so maybe this different as
What is happening in Monrovia? What is happening in Africa? Just to spoon you and know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, right? To spoon.
that's it.
You want to know what is happening in Monrovia? To spoon.
Out of
Politicians want to make their decision just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry to spoon.
they will
To spoon.
I didn't begin a little bit of
You've proven your mouth, Maryland to spoon. To spoon. If you eat kepa, gradually, my brother to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio to spoon. To spoon.
You wanna get a news update? To spoon.
What? Yeah. Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you about today? Yes, what you about
You doing, my brother Kuko? Welcome to the show as well, my sister Kuko Watson. I see over here, I see Rose M. Horace. Welcome to the show, Wendell Aldrich. How are you doing? Papi Keita, Mr. Keita, welcome to the show. Prince, Movie Jacobs. Guys, the music, you keep saying the music. I think you want to check that. People keep saying the music.
Yeah,
I
it's
see
down.
Prince Movie
down
Jacobs. He says he's out of Indianapolis. How are you doing? Christopher Barkley, Mr. Barkley, welcome to the show, sir. I see Augustine Bata, Doris Saki Cooper. How are you doing, my Doris? P. Benu Campbell, how are you doing? Morris Musa, welcome to the show wherever you are. Help us share the show. Christina GC Masakwe, how are you doing? You're watching from Bonnersville. I see Bona Masakwe, I see Diamond. Everybody been from across this country. You're come, let's talk Liberia. before the guys come in. EO, thank you so much. He says so. He says okay now. Thank you for that. Look, while we wait for the guy, let's talk about. I don't know. Today I have nothing in mind, but I was just thinking while I was sitting here. Let's talk about culpability, moral culpability, and what role we all have to play in this country. And a lot of times we will talk about how our government officials are responsible for what's happening in this country. But what we always refuse to address is that the very population are culpable in why our officials behave the way they behave in this country. We promote it, we protect it, we encourage it in many instances. In fact, we create demagogues, and then when those demagogues start to rule over us in a way we don't like, and we call them wicked, they are not wicked. They are doing exactly what we have groomed them to do. So, moral culpability. Now, I have a few questions. The last time I was asking the senators about this question, and I'm going to pose this question to Liberians and across this country. Why do Liberians really think that they are going to reap the rewards of something that they have not paid for? Let me rephrase the question this way. Why do we think in this country that something can come free? Nothing is free. We are culpable in the exploitation of this country and the lack of infrastructure because we think that's how it's supposed to be. Most Liberian wants to reap the rewards of development, but they don't want the pains that are associated with development. We are all culpable in the demise of this country. We sit everywhere in this country and we don't play our part. We don't play our part. Now, when I'm saying play our part, I'm talking about as mandated on our Constitution to play your civic responsibility so we can improve this country. But all we do is we kowtow to kleptocrats, to literally people that shouldn't be in the governmental space. We put them there and we expect something to change. We are equally culpable for the looting of this country. We are equally culpable for the lack of development in this country because most citizens do absolutely nothing. All we do, we sit there and just cheer on. We cheer people on. We encourage them and we tell them that it may own a time. I tell you guys this all the time. Nobody in Liberia has a time to exploit the resources of this country as he or she chooses because he or she occupies a government position. We are culpable because we allow this to happen. We are culpable because we don't force the issue. It doesn't matter what before this country. It doesn't matter the calamity, the hardship, or the lack of employment across this country. It doesn't matter. Even if our daughters are becoming prostitutes, it don't matter. The zogorization of this country doesn't matter. We all fold our hands and we expect prudence and diligence and duty and honor to be visited upon this country. No country that has developed in the absence of developmental pains. Those pains must be paid by every single one of us. Now, question to you is, are you paying your portion of the pain to develop this country? Or are you looking to vainglorious men and women in the legislature or in the government who don't care about you? They only care about themselves because there is no consequence to their misrule. They do whatever they want. They do whatever they say because they know we are going to accept it. Why do we accept continuously without any fight of any kind whatsoever, however people treat this country? You know, they say the Israelis were in the wilderness for about 40 years. Liberia has been in this very wilderness for some 200 years. When are we going to wake up and realize that for this country to change, we should stop being culpable in the exploit of this country? We should force the issue. We should demand more from our legislators in the leadership of this country, not just the legislature, but the judiciary and executive as well. As citizens of this country, if you don't demand something, it's not going to be given to you. No leader, nowhere else in those on God's, even the developed countries, people, their citizens demand certain things before it can happen. But here in Liberia, we want things to miraculously happen. That's not how it can work. Nothing happened miraculously. You have to demand it. You have to pay a price for it. You have to march for it. You have to insist upon it. And then you have to force your representatives and your senators and your president to make that happen. You cannot move your knees off of their necks because if you do so, they're going to rule over you. They're going to only take care of themselves while your daughters become prostitutes across this country. They're only going to take care of themselves while your sons are being zogorized. Is this what you want for your country? When are we going to get out of this wilderness of shamelessness and disgrace? This country is a total shameful existence we live in this country. Shameful existence. Poo-poo flowing on Broad Street. And I mean, Opa talking everything, and lying go there. Go water, sir. Poo-poo. Everybody up the hill, it seems like they don't have a septic tank. The feces just flow down water, sir. Thousands of Liberians are going down there. When are you going to stop being culpable and demand something better for this country? This is the question I'm asking all of us. I'm not excluded from this. When are we going to stop being culpable in the exploit of this country and demand more, where we can focus on the human capital development of this country, build better educational system, where we can focus on building a proper healthcare system across this country, better infrastructure to service the population? Or are we just going to sit and go to our mosques, our churches, and pray and hope that Jehovah God descend from the heavens and come here to save us? Is that what we're going to do? Is that what we're going to keep praying for? When I tell you God is not in Liberia, I'm not joking. God is not here. God left 1990. I say this to say this. The Bible tells me, the Quran tells me that God stays far away from evil. We have become an evil people. We only care about ourselves. One man would take the resources that belong to an entire country and use it on himself and gave the population a chicken fee. And then we all say that a man won and steal. Sister Kebe was pregnant. She's lying on the floor at Benson Clinic. No beds. Because you know why? The hospital money has been eating. The former U.S. ambassador to this country, Michael McCarthy, drove to the southeastern portion of this country. You know what he said? He said all the resources that the U.S. government is pumping into this country cannot be accounted for. The health resources. This is what we do to us. How much money does one man need? Especially if the money does not belong to you. How much money? If you want to become a multi-millionaire, go make it elsewhere. Government is a place you come to provide service for the people, using the people's money, not on yourself. Not on yourself. We're not supposed to talk about these things. We're just supposed to sit there. And he said, well, you're going to get tired talking. Guess what? We all will face the consequences of that tired talking. Because the tired talking befalls us all. Go across the bridge. One day I won't be surprised if the entire former education ministry, I believe next to finance ministry, the whole place collapses. Everything is breaking apart. We have thousands of Liberians underneath there. The bridge that crosses the river into Clariton, you could tell that bridge is going to collapse at any time. But yet and still, there is no preparation being made to make sure we fix that before it collapses. We don't preempt anything that's going to befall the people. We sit and wait to be pitied. As a people, a country that is richer than the United States per capita. Yes, this country is richer than the United States, richer than Norway, is richer than Denmark per capita. And yet and still we rank amongst the poorest countries on earth. How pathetic, how despicable that we have been given so much, yet we develop nothing. We build nothing. Where's what have we built for this country so we can build the infrastructure to truly develop? Or are we just going to do the same thing over and over? We just accept it. If anybody talks about it, man, you want out of you know more, you want out of you know this. This is a way to quiet you because they don't want you to talk about it. And then sometimes I challenge those very people. Most of the time it comes from the men. Call into the show. Challenge me one-to-one, mano-a-mano. Let's talk about the issue pertaining to this country and see if you make more sense. I will follow you. If you make more sense, I will follow you. Don't say wait over there and tell me I should not be speaking about the very condition, the air of this society that is destroying all of us. Garbage everywhere. It is a complete miracle that an epidemic has not happened in this country to the point where it killed most of us. Sometimes we don't want to think about it. Doomsday prophet. That's what they're going to call you. And this is somebody most likely sits in a Western country, a place that he or she has not developed, living of the amenities, of the condition, of the developed conditions that somebody else has created. There is none in his home, but he's talking about doomsday. If it was doomsday, why don't you stay in this country and experience those doomsdays here in Liberia? Bring your children here and see the condition of Liberian children in this country. It should not be spoken about. We should be silent about it. Because if we talk about it, that means that if people time to eat, you're not supposed to be talking, or you're just saying it because you're jealous. Of course I'm jealous. I'm jealous that Rwanda is touching the heavens and we are not. I'm jealous that the likes of Ghana, their capital city, Accra, is touching the heavens. I'm jealous that Dar es Salaam, that Nairobi is touching the heavens and we are doing nothing. My jealousy is not your typical jealousy. My jealousy is this, that we are capable of a whole lot more, but we are content with nothing. We are complacent in our own demise. We are culpable in this nothingness that we reside over. We have actually shamed our ancestors. We speak because we want this to change. We want this to change in a direction that incorporates every single one of us, our children, better schools so they can be way smarter than us, better hospitals so they can be healthier than we are, better roads so they can be safer than we are, better police force so we can have proper security than we did. This is why we talk. We're not talking because we believe somebody is not doing something or they're getting paid and we are jealous because of that. We are talking because we have a responsibility as a citizen of this country to speak about the ills of this society. If you are not speaking, most likely it's because you sit in a Western country. You migrated to another man's country. They provide the comforts of modernity, and all of a sudden you think you have arrived because you live in a 2-bedroom shack in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, somewhere you have not built. And your own country sits here with poo-poo flowing in the streets. And we are not supposed to talk it because that makes us a doomsday prophet. Let me tell you something. I want you, if you come to Liberia, I want you to go to any cemetery, any graveyard. I'm not asking you to go to the cemetery. I want you to sit at the entrance of the cemetery. And you will see the bodies. And every time a body come by, ask them how old is that person. The bulk of the young people that are dying in this country are below the age of 50. If you live in Liberia, for you to go over 60 years old, the chances are very slim. Our life expectancy continue to go down because of poor sanitation, poor health condition, poor food, etc., etc., etc. How do we change this? It's while we talk. We're not talking because you just want to talk. We are talking because I know what we are capable of. If we put boot to ground and march towards development, and march toward proper infrastructure that lifts this country, and march towards building institutions that govern this country, and march towards regulations that guide the law and order in this country, and march toward taking care of the people that take care of us. Look at our army. The armed forces of this republic, they are angry. You don't want to hear it, but my job here is to bring you the truth. We have to take care of those who take care of us. I visited the barracks. I'm not going to tell you where before people go there, but it's going towards Kirisburg. Now you know where. I visited the barracks. Go see how our soldiers are living. Go see how our soldiers are living. How is this acceptable in this country? Leaky roof, filth, everything is broken down. Our soldiers, this country must do a due diligence to the citizens that serve this country. You must protect the police. You must protect our soldiers because they serve us. When are we going to take Liberia seriously and not just kill it to the top 1% of the government officials that have developed nothing? They've built nothing. They've invented nothing. They've brought no new ideas. They take hefty paychecks, but you neglect the soldiers and the police when you talk about it. They say, oh, you were just talking. How can a society where the average person lives on per day. The average person lives on $2 per day. In that same society, you gave somebody 50,000 United States dollar per month, plus an additional whatever else their benefits are. And you are not supposed to talk it. What is going to stay there to protect our soldiers and the police and to build roads and hospitals and clinics across this country? This is what we talk, because we wanted to change for the better. Because if something like that changes, Liberia improves. Liberia improves. We up the standard of living. We up our life expectancy. We up the quality of life in this country, and we can live longer and happier lives, keeping the Liberian family together, protecting our Liberian identity, protecting our custom and our traditions. This is why I speak. Once again, man, Stanton, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you very much, Tuadu. Thank you very much, Tuadu. How you doing?
Not too bad, man. My man, how everything?
Good. I see that you're sweating. You're in the studio. You're sweating, though.
Let me put an earpiece on. I could better hear you.
Okay. No, I say you're in the studio. You're sweating.
Yeah, my man. Because Liberia been again catch my heart too bad.
I believe it, brother. And you know, it catch every one of us hot. Let's just invite our
Stanton's a little headphone.
Yeah.
You get your stay? You don't need a headphone. Let me see what happened. Does it need a headphone?
You get it?
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. No, I said that Liberian people, man, Liberia is on our heart, though. It's on our mind. These things happen every day, make you angry. But you in Liberia now, you're seeing it clear. And you know, no one needs to tell you. You are in Liberia. You know what's up.
Yeah.
I mean, but how's it every day? How's business? How's your own personal business doing?
No, man, things, slow, like in the business, the projection is going to be 6 months to a year before people are trickling in. I got a few people, we still doing things, I just want to set everything up before I run back to the States, but I have to be back here in Liberia, my man. I don't leave the people job. Hopefully nobody's watching. I'll tell you, Posey, I got my computer here with me. We try to work from here. It seems you're far away. No, don't worry about it. I read what in Boston. We ain't gonna talk.
So it's not to say come to a meeting in 3 days.
So, most of the time we do the Zoom because I was working from home at first. So we're doing the Zoom most of the time. I said, wow, your background. It's always. I said, no, my man, no, listen, don't focus on the PowerPoint presentation. Don't focus on the numbers. Don't focus, you know what I mean? Don't focus on the replay. But overall, man, Liberia is here. I was actually driving down Waterside yesterday. Actually, I parked my car up the hill by the post office where they have the Echo Bank. And I decided to get on the motorcycle to go downtown. And since the thing I'm telling you, my man, the poo-poo, I got to say it raw. It's just bubbling from the ground. Hey. Setting water sucking. I mean, it's flowing like a stream, like a small river.
You can see. You gotta go there tomorrow.
You can see what can carry in there. But
it's something that
everybody knows.
Yeah, that everybody knows about here.
So can you describe it? Where is that?
Waterside.
If you go down Mecklin Street, right? But it's not just Mecklin. Any street that goes down Waterside, you will see these manholes, right? They took the covers of the manholes. I get the boys to set them for Ali or whatever. And then it seems that, because I don't know where the water's coming from, and it seems like all the building on top of the hill, like they don't have separate thing. So the thing is just flowing constantly. I mean, real poo-poo water.
Yeah. The whole place is very disgusting. Even those that are selling.
Sorry about the scene, but I just want to talk it.
They are at serious health risk because they are there smelling, whatever odor.
So who's responsible to take care of that? Who's responsible, Madam?
The government. What don't see well?
So what happened with Mo Ali?
Listen, Stanton. For almost 5 years, I used to dislodge those. I have these tanker trucks in the city, right? So they used to call me, for example, and I'll go, we unclog some of those, because what happened is they are filled with plastic bags. So I will send my trucks over, and sometimes the government will not even pay me. And to get my paycheck would be war. And I just have to get rid of the tanker trucks. But those things need serious care. Because if you don't know what happen here, people yet drinking. The plastic bags. If you go in the Do River right now, in fact, today I was over the Kimboso Bridge, the one that connects Batam into Waterside. Is that what it's called, right? Kimboso Bridge.
Or the new bridge?
The new bridge, right?
Yeah.
And then if you look over the Do River, you will see, it seems that all the plastic in Monrovia is being dumped into the river.
I mean, I'm confused. You said new bridge. New bridge is over the island. Is that not the new bridge anymore?
That's a new bridge. So the one that coming up, I mean, what that street across, right?
Yeah.
So the old
bridge going across.
Yeah. Then there's a bridge to the right if you're coming from Freeport Way. There's another one going to the right, Kimboso Bridge, I believe.
The one to the right, that's the old bridge. The one to the left, that's the new bridge, right?
Okay, yeah, whatever it is. But it doesn't matter which bridge you're over. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter which bridge you're over. So it seems like everybody up the hill, if you look on the banks of the river, there's this pile of garbage. Plastic. And the same, plastic, not just plastic, a lot of stuff. And they're just dumping it into the bridge. Yeah, Gabriel Tucker Bridge. They are dumping it into the river. Okay. So let's say, I mean, it's happening in other cities, and I actually seen one in India but the only thing that blessing us, my brother, we don't have the population here. As more people trickle into the city, now I think currently the city probably approaching 1.5, 1.6 million people. When we start hitting 2-3 million people, it could pose a serious problem. And if we don't tackle this, all the freaking drainages, even on the Somalia Drive, or they call it the Japan
Freeway. Can we go back to that poo thing you're talking about? Yeah. And ask Mo Ali what's going on? I thought Mo Ali said he addressed it though.
No, Mo Ali is addressing the water portion of it, the fire hydrants. Actually, I met the guys yesterday. I got some pictures actually. They were right next to the Land Commission, the former Commerce Ministry. There was a manhole cover there next to, I think it's AME Design or Methodist University right there. Yeah. Okay. So AME. The manhole, they try to put the water on. I did see that. However, when it comes to dislodging the manhole cover, because they are filled with garbage, really, so garbage inside, even the Somali Drive. So in time, because as the rains get heavier, it's going to create more flooding. Now, it takes money to do that. I understand it, but why don't we prepare to make sure that it's addressed? That's some of the question we're asking. You're muted.
We have to say as it is. We have to.
Yeah.
My thing is that I just say that, Guadu. I just think that we have a lot of work to do. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have a lot of work to do. Give me 1 second. I want to address a few people. Say, you get Dwalu government job and see what he would do. Let me tell you something. My focus in this country is far from government job. That's the first place you must talk about. The day I'm ready for government job, I'll run for something bigger of this country. So my focus is not government job. I continue to say, if Stanton allows me, I'll remove the portion he does not like with the one woman, one man thing. This is why I continue to stress that a man or a woman must attain certain socioeconomic standing before he or she is given certain position in government. The likelihood that they're going to steal is slimmer. It doesn't mean they're still going to steal, but the focus is not building a house because they already have a house. The focus is not buying a car because they're driving the finest cars. The focus is not to impress 10,000 girls because we've done that. But when you take people that ordinarily would not be in those positions, this is what happens. So it's not everybody who you think is going to come to government to steal. I'm not suggesting that I have money. This is not what I'm saying. But what I'm telling you is, if we develop the system, we can create Liberian millionaires in the country. So my focus would be, let's improve the infrastructure. Let's improve the governance system and the institutions that govern this country. You can make your money in the private sector. This is my focus. So it's not everybody. Oh, get to the government job. He will steal. Really? Do you really believe that I have to go to government to eat 3 times a day? Do you really believe that? This is crazy.
Kuma said Nande.
Yeah.
Wow, Yoka. Dwalu. Don't say that thing. I agree what the Bible says, one man, one woman. But you can't follow in the Bible. The Bible does say one man, one woman.
This is what I said though. Let me tell you what I said so you can respond to it. I said a man must commit to one woman. It doesn't mean you don't get it from first. No, you get it from no, a man must commit to one woman and a family.
So that a man leave his wife. Now
no, mother is father.
Okay, and cleave unto his wife.
The
man will leave his mother and his father and cleave unto his wife, and the two will be one flesh.
Yeah.
What the Lord has joined together, let no man put it asunder. So we agree. Yeah. You gotta leave your mom, you gotta leave your pop. Now, you cleave to your wife, and the rest are history. So Dwalu, I agree with you. I'm a Bible man. I agree with you.
Enter. Listen to me.
I don't know whatever you Dwalu. That's what I'm married for. Cleave onto my wife.
Yeah, I cling on to my wife too for 24 years. It's not something. Look,
you almost say around the same time, but I'm here.
Same time, yeah, but
Liberia, Dwalu, so it speaks volume.
Let me say it though. Let me tell you, but man, at the end of the day, the thing is, so Stanton, all joke aside, the Liberian family is crumbling. I know, and somebody says, "So we heard that speech before." I get it, I understand it, and you have your reasons to doubt, and they're legitimate. And I'm not doubting this, but what I'm trying to say is something has to change. I don't have to be the person to change it, but I can assure you, if I had the hints and opportunity to change it, it will be my only hope. Because look, I believe this firmly. We are not here for a very long time. We are not here for a long time. If you want to leave your name behind, serve your people and serve them with the fear of God and in an honorable way. Your name will be remembered. Look, a lot of time, look at over the last 200 years, look at all the government officials that are serving government. They went away steal plenty. Take them from government for 2 years. Sometimes anyway 2 years, but getting to 2 years. They go back to square zero. Do you know what that happens? It's because most of them are not equipped with the money that they've stolen from the people to have substance with it. They go, be a table, eat it, get 16.4 the state is suggesting, and then go back to square zero. Get money, eat it, go back. This is crazy. Look, the Chinese have corruption. The Americans have massive corruption. But this is what they do. If Stanton is from Stanton, where they play your paper from?
My father from Lexington.
Lexington, yeah, thank you. Stanton from Lexington. Stanton comes to government and steal. Stanton goes back to Lexington and builds a factory and incorporate Lexington and turn it into a massive metropolis. It doesn't mean the city is right, but what he's done, he's taken that money and expanded the growth of Liberia. Why the what city? Why they gonna do that one? They will build one big head of horse. They gave me maintain it all. Then say when people talking, say, "Oh, the man you're talking it because when you can't let to, he will want to." So I mean, when I'm talking, that when you be there, you're all right. I will talk it. Maybe there.
The only thing I agree with you on the show tonight is what the Bible says: one man, one woman. But I can't find that in the Bible. Bible ticket.
One man, one woman.
Is that in the Quran?
Well, when I tell you one man, one woman, I say a man must commit to one woman. You're missing the English. So let me tell you something. I lived in Japan for some time, and the Japanese have a little tradition. It's part of their custom. If a man takes care of the home, a man provides and a man protects. Whatever the man does outside the home should not be questioned by the woman.
Oh, yeah? In Japan?
Oh, in Japan. and I used to date a Japanese girl. She would eat Dutchies and would go to her parents' house.
You used to do what?
Man, little team, man.
You said before Fatiga and can't remember. You said what you used to do?
I live in Japan for 2 years.
So what you used to do with Japanese girl?
I had Japanese Jew, man. You learn the ways, you learn a lot of stuff, you know? Yeah. But
somebody said, Jenna, I beg you, my man. I beg you. I know we're so start the show. Yeah. Somebody said, Jenna said
224, Stanton.
Yeah, Jenna said 224. Yeah. They're funny. All right. The person says, Stanton, you need to read this. Folks, we're so start the show. You know, I got to mess with you.
Johnson said in the Quran too.
Huh?
Johnson said, let me read what Johnson said. He said, yes, it's in the Quran, but a man can marry 4 wives if he can provide and take care of them all equally.
Oh, yeah?
Father, you want to move this to that? Anything you do there,
Amen.
they say the bad down. Try to do what I bring it in that goes way.
So, man, at the end of the day, let me say this: a lot of stuff is happening, and
Yeah.
thanks. Look at Fadiga testing. He
Yeah,
said,
hey,
he's coming
God,
for
what you
you,
doing,
brother. Fadiga said he's coming for you, and Fadiga know he got 3 girlfriends in Liberia, and the other girl that he messing with, a Madingo girl, very quiet. He introduced a girl to me, and on Zoom, they call Aminata, the Madingo girl. Yeah. God, what's the girl you show me? What was the name again? The one that you
What
showed
did
me.
I
Well,
What
begin
girl?
tell the thing that's small. Tell the thing that's small, biggie. God, the girl that you show me. What's her name again?
What
Pinky?
girl? Okay.
The one that were in the car.
What kind of car? Okay. What kind of car driving up, bro? No, what kind of car? Tell me what car driving up, bro.
The girl so said, I love my life. Begin to you correct. All right, let's move back to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Spoon Talk. No fire, no harm. Let me leave Dwalu alone. I want to say welcome, Grace Fakema. Welcome, Tipads Dempster. Welcome, Wilson Zeyu. Welcome.
Yes, my uncle Wilson Zeyu.
Yeah, Sekou Donzo. Welcome, Sekou. Don't forget, one-on-one with the CEO on Sunday will be Katema and I speaking to the National Port Authority Managing Director, Sekou Duke Sekou. We will be speaking to him. We will be discussing the issue of national concern at the National Port Authority. He will be our guest, one-on-one with the CEO co-host, Katamba Abdullah. Yakazi, please tell Magic to do that flyer that we can share. We're getting a feedback from you, Yakazi. If you can work on it, please. Maybe check the cell phone. Maybe you need to turn them off. We want to get into the show while the others are joining us. Give us a picture you are showing us, Yakazi, please.
Yeah. So it was just a video of what Mr. Dwalu was talking about at the Waterside market.
So you the place. Oh, you go to the
so
water.
you see on the main road order that entire area is flooded. Is flooded with mess. That the people water
so the people walking in
water.
Where are the people walking in Pupu water?
They have no option.
They have no option.
They have no option.
Wait. Well, let's see. The walking in Pupu water, yeah?
Of course. See, you have there's a market across the road. You have the market, another market across the road where you have to cross to go and purchase other things. So to cross the market, to cross to go to the market, you just have to, make your way through the mess.
I wish they're gone to the where it's bubbling out. Adama, Sharif.
Maybe they're going there.
Is it live?
No, it's not live.
Oh, okay.
It's not live.
Because we could have told them to have gone to.
Oh no, not that.
Okay, I think you're seeing.
That's it. Just repeat.
Yeah.
But if we can get a better stuff. You see the water just coming out of the ground. I mean, almost like rushing out.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been a very serious issue. And it's something unfortunately that has lasted for a very long time. Every time you hear about waterside, I mean, is associated with that feces and all of that.
Hi, Glenny. How you doing?
Hello. Thank you.
Not too bad. Hi, Siata Timber. How you doing? How's Providence? Moses Dolo, Alex K. CA, Mr. CEO, welcome. Clara Way, hey, my own wife, how you doing, ma? Everything. Anthony, Gay Floyd, welcome. Alex Wright, Betty Sewage,
You get
you
own
know,
wife again. So which one are the own one?
Mr. Kanga. I think 30% of Grand Bassa County has the surname Kanga. Liu Seku Sise. And last ain't know that.
So, I beg you, Mr. Duaru, let's welcome Glennie. I called Mo Ali, the managing director, to address this issue. But his version to this thing, I think we should hear it. All right. Duaru, you raised a good issue about coming down American Street or coming down Front Street. I don't know the different streets. But Mo Ali, welcome to the show. I'm sorry for calling you in under these circumstances, man. But that people water that rolling down and other places in Waterside. Let's talk.
No, so for the issue of Waterside, let me address that first. We took over for the last 4-5 years. There has been absolutely no work done on the manhole in our whole area. So we started clearing from down Johnson Street to Como Hill and all of these places. The unfortunate thing is, only on Sunday we have the opportunity to work down Waterside. Because during the weekdays, from Monday to Saturday, people are selling and they sell all on the road, on the manhole. So there's no way we can park our sewer trucks to clean those places. So it's only on Sunday that we have the opportunity to work. So we started clearing those places on Sunday. We are even in talk with the leadership of the Marketing Association down Waterside to give us the opportunity so that we can be able to work through the week. You can sell, but at least don't come on the road because the manholes are in the center of the road and on the side. They don't want to listen. Now, to the issue of Merklin Street, we've been struggling with that Merklin Street, especially the stress between Ashmore Street and Broad Street. When you come from the Ashmore Street side and pass by that Aminata building, there is a structure that has been constructed on the manhole. And people sit there, they seal the manhole up. You don't clean one manhole without cleaning the corresponding manhole. Because if you are rodding, for example, you put the rod in from this manhole and it goes through to the other manhole. Then the people be in the manhole and cleaning. We have talked to those people, we begged them over and over. We need to break the manhole open for our people to get in to clean. They have refused. On 2 different occasions, we agreed that they will come on Sunday to open the shops so we can go in and clean the manhole. We go there on Sunday, they don't come.
Wow.
And we do not have the authority to break into their shop. That is the problem we're having.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. More. Don't do that.
More, I beg you, brother. I beg you can see, we're getting some bad feedback. Can you check the system? Can you check the cell phone and turn them off? Well, go ahead. You brought the conversation up, Mr. Dualu. I have more on the phone.
Yeah, Mo, thank you so much for taking this call very quickly. We appreciate this. But Mo, those excuses cannot hold. First of all, you can do this at night. That's number one. Number two, by you saying you don't have the authority to open the store, that is not true, Mo.
You want to interrupt you? Let Mo interrupt you because you say you can do it at night. Go ahead,
Well,
Mo.
let me get the volume on. Am I hearing Mo? Okay.
Go ahead, Mo.
Hello.
Go ahead, Mo.
Dualu, you say we can do what? We can do it at night?
He asking you, Dualu, he said, Mo said they can work at night. They can do it at night.
Yeah.
You know, Dualu, sometimes when you are not in tune with things, you sit on the radio and think things are just bread and butter. For you to sit somewhere and think that under the kind of strenuous circumstances, we can work at night down Waterside, risking the life of people. Besides that, you probably don't understand what a sewer work is to clean in the manhole. You don't understand what the danger involved in it. That you expect somebody to get into a manhole as deep as 15 feet and all of those kind of things under the strenuous condition with poo water flashing all over and go work at night. The second point is, I'm not sure you got it right. I said we on the issue of Merklin Street, for example, We have talked to the people, come and open the shop. Somebody construct on manhole. We can't even get them to open shop on Sunday. They say we can work at night. What do you? How are we going to do the work at night?
Let me respond to Mo. Director, are you still there?
He's here. Go ahead, Dualu.
Can he hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
No, I told you, say you can work at night. This is not something that is new. You say, oh, because I'm not there. How do you think they do it everywhere else in the world? They have lights. They have lights. You don't need electricity to do that. You can buy battery power solar lights, and they can pass it. Most construction around the world work at night. That's the first thing. You don't say, oh, you sit on the radio, you don't know how it works.
Wait. Dualu, can you put a headset on? He's talking to you, but you're not listening. You're not hearing us.
Yeah.
I still can't hear.
Absolutely no idea.
All right, so Dualu, Mo, hold on 1 minute. Dualu, can you go and sit where Yekes is sitting? It will be better.
Okay, no, this is better now. I can hear him.
Thank you. All right, go ahead, Mo. He can hear you. Go ahead.
So Dualu has absolutely no idea what it means to work in a manhole. He has absolutely no idea. And you say, how you think it works in other countries? Have you realized that in other countries you're talking about, they have sophisticated equipment that they clean manhole with, that people, workers don't have to descend in the manhole and play in poo water? You think manhole where that there's some going to sell the bread and butter thing? In Liberia, they get current down water side, they get street light down water side, that somebody will go in the darkness to go work in manhole. Do they have that kind of electricity capacity there?
Can I respond to Mo? Mo, can you hear me?
Go and force people sharp on the manhole to work.
Mo can hear you. Go ahead.
First of all, Mo, I allow you to say the first time that I don't know what it takes to become to clean the manhole. Almost every manhole. Listen to me, sir. Listen to me for 1 second.
No idea.
Okay, so can I respond, sir? Okay, Mo, I ran a sanitation company in this country for over 10 years. Most of the manhole you're talking about, I've cleaned them before. You have no idea what it takes to clean a manhole. I do. You don't. So the first thing is, your thing is, you say, oh, we'll do it the old way. You're not going to think a little bit outside the box to say, oh, do you know all those lights by the roadside? More you've been to other countries. They cost $2,000. You can put a massive light out there. I'm not asking you to break into people's store. Hey, sis Jenny, you have a store on Waterside number 5. We want that store open by 10 o'clock tonight. We have to remove certain things from there to make sure it runs properly. This is what I'm talking about. I'm not asking you to break anybody's store more. So start repeating you don't know what it is to clean a manhole. When I told you I ran a sanitation outfit in this country for over 10 years with tanker trucks that I own. I'm not just saying that because I want to say it. I'll clean some of those manholes. And the very equipment you are talking about, they can be bought for $3,000-$4,000 to go deep into the manhole to clean them. Why are we buying them?
I wasn't getting you. You said they gave $3,000-$4,000 to do what?
I'm not because what you're trying to do, I said they cost $3,000-$4,000. Some of those equipment that can clean the manhole. They cost $3,000-$4,000. So they gave you $3,000-$4,000.
Hello, Dualu.
Yeah.
$3,000-$4,000 to clean which manhole? Where? In America?
Dualu said you could pay $3,000-$4,000 to buy those equipment, one a piece. If you want to use it at night, the lights, the solar power lights, they high industrial lights.
I know it's some of the lights right now so you can see they ain't posted on the screen. Let me say some of the lights so you can see they ain't posted on the screen.
Let's give Mo a chance now.
If you repeat that stuff, I don't know that it.
Let me say a few things. You know, it's one thing to sit on the radio and say things should work the way you think. And the reality is totally different thing. You know, to just sit on the radio and say you can buy those like $3,000-$4,000, Dualu will appreciate you donating some to the water and sea.
Well, I don't have to donate anything. The government has an account. That's a donation to our year. You got a budget, Mo. Okay, my man, I send you the lights that you can put. I send you the equipment. You got no time to make excuses.
You don't know everything. This is not your fuel. You don't just sit on the radio and say, you can buy
Hey,
me one
man,
because
I'm feeling your light.
on this amount. I come in.
Where your email is?
Took
Can you-
over
can
an
you-
entity.
Say it
We
yourself.
took
Say it.
over an entity. Dwalu,
Go ahead, Mo. We listen to you, Mo. Go ahead, please.
we took over an entity that is cash strapped, number one. Number two, it has a huge waste bill.
That's what you should say.
When you use Akami, going to work at night require a huge amount of resources the entity does not have. Electricity and the equipment and the material. That's one part of it. Number four, you need to pay people overtime. Dwalu, how many times haven't you sat on this show for us to say people don't even pay their bills? How many times? How many times haven't you sat on this show for us to say the entity cannot even afford to pay its employees? You think things can just work out of vacuum? Entity that we met almost there, we're trying to live here, he said, people, you can work in the night. Okay, even if we're working in the night, so the part I told you that people have constructed on the manhole, making it impossible for us to clean. How do you solve that problem? That means you have to go and break the people's structures down. I'm inviting you
You
on
keep
Sunday.
repeating that. You keep repeating that. I have not asked you to break the structure down.
Dwalu, the man finished yet. The message is
Don't let me and Mona get out of talk.
Hello. You think it's an easy thing, so you in Liberia.
I'm not saying it's easy. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, so you gotta listen. You gotta listen to Mo. Now Mo says he's inviting you. Let's hear what he said.
An invitation to you to join our team on Sunday. Come with your cameras and see the kind of conditions our sewer worker can work in. When you finish, you come back on Sunday or Monday and sit on the show and talk about the sewer work. Yeah.
Do you accept his invite?
No argument. So I'm inviting
You accept Mo Ali invite? And
Stanton,
you accept his invite?
No. Don't do that. This is what I don't do.
He said he invited you.
Listen, this is what I don't do. I don't allow somebody who's responsible to do a job. When somebody point out something, he takes it personally. Then he say yes, he extends an invite. You don't need allow me to finish my move. No, let me finish my point. Let me finish my point, Bob. They keep talking. Okay.
Making insinuations that are totally unrealistic.
No, it's not unrealistic, Mo. It's not unrealistic. It is not unrealistic, Mo.
What big incoming to join? You say more work in the night. I say, okay, I'm inviting you to just witness or working in the day on Sunday. Then you say that kind of thing you can do. What do you know you can do?
Hey man, finish talking, allow me to talk to you more. When you finish talking, let me talk my own. So go ahead.
I'm not saying anything further. And you say that it's the thing you can do it in the night. I say can't watch or working on Sunday. Nothing big in that one there.
No, I don't have to watch you. $4,000,
who can do the 1 year, $10,000. Just can't see all working on Sunday. Then from there, you go sit down on Monday and explain your observation about the kind of work that we do. Let me see if you're talking about buying like $4,000. We may get money in the entity to pay people. People refusing to pay bill. We met an entity with a cover of $68,000. They say, well, you $4,000 to buy land. I will get gas and fuel and other things, other equipment, common equipment to work even in the day. So come while we're on Sunday, you can see. Then you know the difference.
I'm not coming to work with you, Mo.
So
if you I make my point.
Mo, I want to say thank you for joining us to help us understand the challenges. Thank you very much, bro.
Yeah, but Stanton, you let Mo go. Mo don't listen to what I had to say.
Mo listen on the radio. He listens to you on the radio.
Mo can do whatever he wants. He can get angry all he wants. Okay? I will provide suggestions. He don't have to take those suggestions, but for he to say it is not possible, they cannot work in the night, or because they're going in, this is a job you signed up for. Okay, it is to clean the sewage system of the city, provide water. This is a job you sign up for. I'm not suggesting that it's easy. That's not what I'm suggesting. But if you think you can work out there because you can get light, it's a poor excuse when you can buy mobile light for $2,000, $3,000. You say, oh, we don't have money. This is what the demands you make. They have sewage cleanings. Mostly, I don't know what neighbors sewage. I clean more people in the city than most people. This is not something that did behind closed door. I'll tell you that I ran a sanitation outfit in this country for over 10 years. All the mobile toilets in Monrovia, I was the first person that brought mobile toilets to Liberia. I was the first person that brought tinker trucks to Liberia. I was one of the first person that cleaned all the government toilets downtown Monrovia. So trust me, I know how the sanitation issue is in Liberia. But if you think we're going to do the same thing, we take shower, then we take out one day, it's going to work. It's not going to work. Our suggestion is for Mo to think a little bit outside the box. If that makes him angry, that's his business. It's not say, oh, so when I criticize the public work minister, I should go see him work. If I criticize the gender ministry, I should go see her work. This is not my job. And no, I am not going to donate solar, light, or water and sewer. This is a government entity, a government operation. They should be responsible to do that. Welcome to the show, Dr. Bropley.
Thank you, Dualu, and good evening to my friends, all my esteemed colleagues. Good evening to all of our listeners, viewers. Thank you for making Spoon what it is and shall become. Please call your friends, invite them so to be part of the conversation. It's all about Liberia and making this country better. I came in with the exchange between Mo and Dualu. I want to add my 2 cents to it. Here's what I would say. First, public servants are called to serve. And the most important part of public service is service. So when people say things to us, when people criticize, we ought to be more receptive because in everything we can learn something. Second, when you take a job, the principal thing you are supposed to do is solve problems, not explain problems. Nobody want to hear all of the problems. Go, we live in it. Our street today, the people water was still running. So we know the problem, but we want people to come and help us solve the problem. So I would suggest to my good friend Mo, you things you need, ask for a fight for those things, those resources, but also communicate with the public. Tell us, I need this, I ain't getting it yet, but we're trying to get it. The more you communicate, the more the people know the challenges you're dealing with, the less of these conversations we'll have. Solve the problem because you are responsible for it. That's why you get the job. So ask for what you need, keep asking, keep fighting, but keep communicating with the public and tell the public, here's where we are, here's what we're doing. Finally, cast a vision. I keep saying it. Cast a vision. Every leader needs to tell the public what you will do by the next 12 months and work towards it. One, you can engage because some of us have skills and gifts in different areas. You could solicit and attract resources. If we know where you're going, once you are clear on where you're going and how it would make us all better, we'll join you. But we have too many persons, I think, who are just position holders. Be an innovative leader, cast a vision. Tell us for the next 12 months, yeah, where I want to go. And then we'll jump on board as we can.
I don't know what happened to Tualu.
That means you're next.
Well, I listen to Mo Ali. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining us to Spoon TV today. I listened to Mo. I think Mo, when he was on last week, he talked about the same thing about them not having the time. I agreed with you, Dr. Broppler, that we don't want to hear the complaints. We want to hear the problems, how they're going to solve the problem. As difficult as it may be, I think what Dualu was asking was, how can they find a solution? What else can you do? If you say nighttime is difficult, is there a way too that they could partition areas? Like we'll do this block this time so that you don't get market people out of the businesses. We'll do this. I mean, I'm not in Liberia, so and that was one of the things Mo was like trying to suggest, that because people are not in Liberia, they don't understand how day-to-day activity works. But I know for a fact that that water star water has been there for many years. So I would hope that at this point in time now, with this government will try to work out different methodologies to see how they can be able to remedy this situation with the sewage problem down water side. It may be difficult, it may be challenging, but maybe innovation can help. Maybe trying some other means to get it done. But I know one of the things that Mo did say the last time was that it's difficult to do it. They can only do it, or they only have one night a week, which is Sunday, when the people are not selling, to be able to do it. But I think they can strategize, reach out to other people, see how they can get it done. Talk to people who've done it before. Dwalu seems to be an expert. He's done it here. I mean, talk to other people. Tap into the expert base of the Liberians that you have and see what you can get. But I think it's time to solve the problem instead of keep explaining how difficult it is to get it done. Try all you can to do it one piece at a time and get it done. I say, welcome. We're talking about the sewage problem. If you want to add, while we wait for Stanton to come back, and we have more on it. We're talking, I think Stanton has shown a video about the sewage problem down water side. And that's what we're talking, and more came to explain how difficult it is to get it fixed.
Hello to you on the show, and hello to our people in Liberia, around the world and everywhere else. Behold, the time of reality has come. Behold, the time of campaigning has all gone. I was listening to Mo talking, and I decided to go on Facebook to listen to previous Mo. When did Mo get to know that you can't just sit on the radio and just talk and want it to happen? When did he get to know? 2024? Oh, he didn't know that you couldn't just sit on the radio and just talk and things happen in 2023, 2022, 2021. He didn't know that one. He know it today. When did he get to know that the problem is not easy to fix? You know, it was just so funny. And like I've always said, any truth crushed to the ground will always rise, because you can never beat the truth. You know, Mo Adi, please go to your previous clips and listen to yourself, my brother. Listen to yourself talking. You would think Jesus Christ needed to bring magic wine to fix everything in Liberia. That you complaining today, brother? Oh, you don't know. You can't just sit on the radio and talk and make finish. Oh, that today you know it now. You know it in 2024 more. You didn't know that one in 2023 when you were talking all around here. Oh, you see that they're doing it. They're not facing the water thing. Hey, that one it wanna have. No more. Go to work, my brother. Go to fix the issues. Please go to work. I beg you. Don't come here again. Can't tell about hi. You come here, me, I will ask for all to cut it off. Go to work, Mo. Please work. More work. Oh man. You were around. You're one of the loudest voices in this place. Oh, they're facing there. Oh, they're facing there. Mo Ali, the reality of governance is there, my brother. You know, we said these things. Some of us is not strange because we know. But the reality of governance is there, my brother. The campaign time pass now. I will fix this. Liberia will be fine. We will solve the problem. Everybody will eat cow meat. The time pass. Mo, do the work. Me, I don't hear no complaint about a. Where you go, a? No, I say, no, you don't go on the show, I beg you. Be play and now, let me listen to Mo Ali talking, campaign time. Let me listen to Mo Ali talking. No, you are muted. You are muted, Eduardo. We're not hearing you.
Okay.
Yeah, please. I want to listen to, I'm listening to Mo
Okay,
Ali.
I said, let them misconstrue something here. Mo has a very difficult job. Nobody trying to downplay. Listen, nobody trying to downplay Mo's job, and let's not get from that believing that anything is easier in government. The only argument that I'm having here is we got to find a solution. You can see if you get some of those pictures that are ready, I just want to show the audience what I'm saying. It's not a suggestion that it's going to be easy, but there are some plausible solutions out there that we can address. Look, my thing I do here, I don't pay attention to the naysayers that say something cannot be done. Oh, you go there, you go do it. I don't have to go do it. Let me tell you something. I think Plato said this. It wasn't me. He said, listen, just because I'm not a bench maker, if I pay you my money to make a bench and you make a crooked bench, I'm going to criticize that crooked bench. That doesn't mean I can make a better bench.
Let me come in, Mr. Dwalu. Mr. Dwalu, let me come in. I said, let me come in real quick. You'll come in, Isaac. We just got to get this news on our network because most Liberians listen to us by radio. Donald Trump has been found guilty on all 34 counts here in America, New York. I don't know. Let's take a break off from the argument, and everyone on this set right now have lived or living here in New York. Mr. Bopley just went back home. As he is on his way back, and the rest of the guys that will be joining us. To our fellow Liberians, whom listen to us by radio, don't have access to TV, and those of you that listen to us but not watching CNN, Donald J. Trump, former president, United States of America, has been found guilty on all counts, 34. I don't know. I'm going to start with you guys. Dwalo, let's just brush off a little bit of this water and sword. Isaac, let's come to you real quick. Give a 30-second reaction. It's very important to our country. It's very important to folks because people here vote. Let us talk to you, Isaac, and we'll go around the table, please.
Yeah, very quickly. I mean, if you were to really ask my sincere opinion, the issue of convicting Trump in New York is not of news to me. I'm not sure if there's any human of the F's 8 billion people who have thought a Republican Trump who have been found guilty in New York.
I beg you, sorry, Isaac, though. Yekezi, can you help us with that sound? We get that crippling feedback, Yekezi. Can you work on it, please? As a continue, this is a big breaking news.
So as I was saying, personally to me, and I'm very, very sure to a lot of people, this isn't news. Who would have expected a Republican Trump not to have been convicted in New York? I mean, who would have expected that? I don't think there's any human being in their real self-thinking who would have thought that Donald Trump, a Republican, would not have been found guilty in no other state but New York. In fact, when this whole thing started, number one, I have known, I'm a Republican. I can always say that, very proud one too, but I mean, this doesn't really matter to me because I knew from day one Trump will be found guilty. Even if say Trump came to Liberia, even if he had not come, he will be found guilty in New York, where most of the issues in New York are all political positions. The judges are all elected. Now imagine these are Democrats persecuting Republicans. Now, what much more do you need to understand that an elected Democrat went to the ballot, ran campaign, got voted for, is persecuting the opposite party? Imagine a Carlos Gray persecuting or President Walker. Just think about it that way. Or imagine, when you talk about Jefferson Koji.
Just wait till the second eye. So let's go around the table because this is international news.
And this is not a news. Or one thing I know is very firm, and everybody knows, come November, Trump is going to win the U.S. presidential election, and he will be the next president. That's what matters.
Thank you, Isaac. Let me bring you in, Glennie. Donald Trump, 34, felony count, guilty, former president, United States. What's your take?
Well, I think it speaks to the justice system in America, that no one is above the law. And I think as much as Republicans may want to downplay, this is serious. This is a former president of the great United States. It's not just an ordinary citizen. They didn't just find him guilty on 1 or 2 counts. It's significant. This is big news that he was found guilty on all 34 counts. That's not something that we want to downplay and think it's not significant. For me, it's significant. It also saying, and as much as we want to play politics, and the Republicans may want to play politics. So this is not politicking. You respect the jury system in America. They don't joke with their system. They take it seriously regardless of what. This is not like Africa jury system. It's not like Liberia, where people are found guilty and people who are not guilty, they go to jail and they don't get that. They don't get that day in the court. People died and there's no one is held responsible. This is serious news, Stanton. I think as much as it may be a Democratic president now, but to find a former president of the United States of America guilty on 34 count felony charges, that's serious for me. And I don't think it's a light moment right now in
Thank
America.
you very much. And again, thank you very much. We're going to show this. People of the United States versus Daniel J. Trump, DJT. Guilty 34, not guilty 0, no verdict 0. This is reporting from the special report from ABC. The former president Daniel J. Trump found guilty of falsifying business records in New York, hush money trial, count 1 through count 34. Dr. Bopler, talk to us.
Yes, and so I think if we narrow this to partisan politics, we miss the big picture, the important lessons we can extrapolate. Like Glennie said, the first thing that stands out here is that America has a strong justice system. Democrats have gotten convicted in New York, and Republicans have gotten convicted in South Carolina. So this is not a Republican versus Democrat. This is a strong system. I think for us as Liberians, we can extrapolate from that. They have a strong justice system because it's a mix of things. Some of those people in the justice system are elected, attorney generals and stuff, they're elected. So they have this independence and security. Then the justice system itself is funded so that people who do their job do their jobs. And I think we can learn from that. When you have a strong justice system, it undergirds democracy and it's above the law. I think it's very historic that a former president will be convicted on criminal charges. These are not misdemeanors. These are criminal charges on all counts. And I think it speaks to the strength of American judiciary and democracy.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bopler. We got our Representative Fode coming on. I'm going to hear from Dwalu, Uncle Sam, Hossein Fadika. We got to talk on this, guys. But I'm going to be leaving the show. James is coming on, but we'll give for the first time in the history, Glennie will be the one moderating while I step aside. James have all the video, all the information. Glennie will be the master of moderation. Because once James come on, but we have the story set up.
My God.
Run through the story. I ask each and every one of you, please work with Glennie for the very first time. Dr. Richardson I beg you, don't do that to Glennie. Dr. Richardson is teaching, but I got to very seriously go take some very important family matter. But all is well. I want to say, let's hear from you, Dwalu. Daniel J. Trump.
Yes.
Look at this board, Dwalu. Look at this board. Talk to us.
I see the vote. Senator, my focus is not on the vote. Before this verdict came down, I was trying to do some research as to what Mr. Donald Trump still has the rights under the Constitution to continue to run as president. Now, this has become a constitutional problem. We are not sure whether he's still going to be able to run, but we are not sure whether he's still not going to be able to run. So the federal courts have to take a look at it because this is first of its kind. Well, it's happened before. I think it was in the 1800s. This guy was in jail, but Donald Trump has a real chance of winning these elections. So we don't know how it's going to unfold. My thing is these convictions, they're expected. You think about bias because we're people, but the system in America is built in such a way where it self-regulates. It's just fair to a relatively high degree. So Donald Trump may appeal these convictions. They say, listen, I think the Supreme Court to delay. But at the end of the day, I think some of these are going to stand, especially now that he's convicted on all 34 counts. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Wow. Uncle Sam, you've been in the Marine. You know, we've been there. Hoo-ha. We know how it is in the Army, in the Marine, here in the United States. It speaks volume internationally, Joe. I want you to look at this on the international front, Uncle Sam.
So look, this sort of renews my faith in the American system. I grew up here. I was a young boy, you know, and I thought I knew the system until Donald J. Trump came to power, right? Then I saw everything turn on its head. I see where the Roe versus Roe was reversed. I see all of these things, you know, and so I started to like second guess myself whether money and power was playing an inordinate role. I mean, it all plays an inordinate role, but whether it would vitiate the a good concept American system. And this verdict in New York is not just because it's a Republican, because it's a Democratic state, but Americans are fair. I mean, I know Americans are fair. I mean, generally fair. Okay, and follow you will attest to that, the fairness of Americans, right? So I believe that, you know, this sends a strong message. This sends a very strong message, and I don't see how Republicans can carry a convicted criminal and put him on the ballot and then force Americans to make a decision between a convicted felon and a man with a pristine soul. It is going to be tough the next several weeks and months. The Republicans going to come out swinging. The Proud Boys and other the red wing groups. It will initiate something in them. I just hope another January 6th doesn't happen, some spit of violence or something like that. But I can tell you, this is a big day for American jurisprudence. Very big.
And also, let me say this before we go to Brother Fadika. I like what Dwalu said. Donald Trump, as a United States citizen, he's open to an appeal. He will appeal this, and you know he will fight this. But it's sticking. You know, as to the appeal process, that's why the judge was very measured in handling this case. But Eduardo, before we go to Representative Fambula on this issue to hear from him, not Eduardo, I'm sorry, Fadika, let's hear from you. You've been in Minnesota, you know, your brother worked with the feds and you work with them likewise. You know the system. You are not, you know, a novice. Talk to us now as to why you speaking, folks. I beg to leave. When Madam call you, you got to run. I don't want to be the price or the price. This thing in our chat room today between Samuel Jackson and
don't start. I have to apologize today.
I don't want to be there, but let me go because Madam is calling me. I wish you guys a beautiful show.
We'll see you later.
Yeah, we got a video coming up, Reverend Founder, with you and Amin Bodal. Went on today in the House of Representatives. Y'all trying to J. Amin Bodal, but y'all were talking. Y'all have a good show, guys. Thank you.
All right, man. Gentlemen, well, I was skipping. I wish I had something. I had something very important to say about that Mo Ali stuff. But
let me go and put you in check right now.
All right. I in check already. I know one person that will be ready check. The orange check. But but let me just keep.
I'm taking my orange check out because orange are Donald Trump.
Yeah, the orange guy. Look, I've never been a fan of Donald Trump. Donald Trump pushed every limit. Every limit. He went beyond whatever no president in America have ever done. He's an unorthodox president. Most time he was very rude. But we saw this coming. I think I wrote several article about that back in the days. Look, the American justice system is not 100%. It's not foolproof, but this shows that the justice system in America works. This shows that people can put partisanship aside and allow the system to work. That career civil servants are allowed to do the job. And, you know, without interference. Donald Trump was the first person I saw trying to do that. We saw him fire the FBI director. We saw him doing some very weird things. He called African SO a country. He did a lot of things. He was a very mean guy. Most time, look, I used to do door knocking for the Democrat, the Farmer Party in Minnesota, and when we canvassed for the Democratic. And when Donald Trump won in Minnesota, which is a heavily Democratic state, I saw something. This guy was completely racist. He spoke in all those dog whistles. He did a lot of things to America. But one good thing he did, I think, he showed the dark underbelly of America. He shows that you can smile with people, but why in the heart, why under the sleeve. Donald Trump brought it up. He spoke the day-to-day language that white Americans spoke, that a lot of us didn't understand. So he appealed. That's why he made those outrageous remarks. He appealed. So I'm not surprised. He pushed the limit. He did a lot of things that I'm surprised he was able to survive. And Donald Trump it was only possible because white America chose to support him. And that's how he survived this long. And now the justice system doesn't know color. I still believe he will run. I don't think he will win because even Republicans are fed up with him. In as much as they try not to say much, even Republicans are fed up with him. They don't want to see him in the Oval Office again.
Thank you for this.
Jenny, I hope you guys will give me a chance to address that sewage stuff. There was something that
well, let's finish with this topic and then you can add. Yes. Representative Famula, welcome. Do you want to add anything with the breaking news about Donald Trump being convicted on all counts, all 34 counts?
Yes, I think I expected the results. The chief prosecutor of that case campaigned that he was going to ensure to prosecute former President Trump. There was a clear result from the Democratic political narrative. So for me, I think I expected the results. It's not something surprising to me. Right. Moreover, we are all aware that New York is a state that is dominated by the Democrat, and we are aware of that fact, including the narrative, the propaganda in a major political year. The last election, Trump lost the same New York with something around 60% of the votes went to the Democrat. And the campaign narrative was that the current chief prosecutor said, if I win this election, I will ensure I will prosecute Trump, I will get him beyond bar. And that was some of the biased statement he made during his campaign process. The prosecutor of New York, especially the federal court that Trump has been prosecuted in, these guys go through campaign, they campaign with a message, and he was trying to achieve his campaign agenda. We are aware of the political space Trump was in. So most Republicans would not really pay more attention to that. They play more into the Democrat base. It will serve as a means of motivating them. Independent voters will have some reservation, but I think Republicans will stick with Trump. We have seen that in the primary. They are consistent with him. And with what I'm seeing unfolding, I think the race is something to the wire. Right, everyone wants to keep and protect their own.
Thank you. James, you want to add something? Welcome, my man.
Yeah. Can I real quick?
All right, we'll give you a few seconds so that after that, James and Mame can come on the topic. Go ahead, Dr. Propler.
Okay. No, I just want to say, I don't want to keep pushing this partisan thing. This was not a bench trial. This was a jury trial. To suggest that just because of New York and it's a democratic, heavily democratic state, I think it's a disservice to the strength of the American justice. This was a jury trial. This was a jury trial. This was not a bench trial, and the politicians did not prosecute him. The people made their case, both sides, and the jury decided. And I think it speaks to the strength of the judge. This is not blue and red here. This was justice.
Let's go to James because we want to make sure we wanted everybody to just chime in a little bit about what they thought about the news. Kude, you have anything to add?
Yes, regarding this case, even Trump himself and his entire team knew that they were going to land here, and that was one of the reasons why on the way. That is, during the investigation, Trump kept breaching the protocol by attacking some of the juror or judges who were on the case. And even the judge even threatened him that if he continues on that path, they were going to jail him. All Trump has been looking for, and which will be a very good campaign message, is to have him handcuffed and placed behind bars. That is what Trump been looking for. And trust me, if America is not careful, Trump is going to win this election, because that is going to be the campaign that he's going to carry out there, telling the people the system is against me. That is why they came up with these booger charges and they found me guilty. He's been looking for it. And I think his camp is now happy that he's found guilty. We hope that in the coming days, they will set him behind bars. And it's a very good campaign message for him. If you've been following his campaign team, this is what they've been wishing for.
Okay. Mame, you welcome. You want to make a few comments on the verdict for Donald Trump today?
I mean, yes, I try to align my thoughts with that of Dr. Brooklyn and Dwalu, Oben Jackson. You see, when there is a verdict on the case, when there is a verdict on the case, and you want to speak against it, for me, I like you speak to the merit of the issue or the demerits. Forget about the venue. So there are charges against Trump, and they said that he faked business record to hire over 300, I think 10 million or 310,000, whatever the case is. He had business record. How can you speak to that? How can you show us that this allegation about his hiding business record and the evidence adduced in court were not sufficient? There were charges about his role in undermining democracy, the election result. Come and tell us how such an evidence is not strong enough. But if your first reaction to a court verdict on 33 counts
24.
is not to speak to how to disprove those counts, but just to say, oh, because you're Republican or you're Democrat, then it suggests to me that you don't have sufficient reason to argue. And this is a practice in Liberia. Ever since, bring it back home in the last 30 seconds, ever since I've been on the show, I said Representative Famule is revolutionizing the way representatives should work in Liberia. He's executing oversight and responsibilities in a way that is yielding results for his people. Unprecedented the way he's doing it. People should copy from him. All lawmakers should see Famule as an example. Somebody call me. Let Famule like a man. You're not arguing. You're not telling me what Famule is doing is not right, and I am making the argument that it is right. Your first response is, let Famule like a man. That attitude is wrong. It is that same attitude we bring when we're ready to fight corruption in Liberia. People stole money. They misuse state resources. You got contracts that they signed, they disburse money to people. The people did not implement the contract. They continue to pay them. When you go prosecute them, they say, oh, we got a job, we have friends, we got a CDC. That is the mindset they want to bring, and using the Trump case as an entry point. Let's cut it off now. Let's speak to the merits and the demerits, and not who you loving to, or who you living with, or who saw you before. Let's speak to the issues.
Thank you. So when we started the show, we were talking, we had a brief call with...
a few seconds? If it is okay, a few seconds.
All right, a few seconds, and we want to be able to go to the next topic. So we'll give you a few seconds. Put your clock on, put your watch on to 30 seconds.
Yeah, my watch is on. Sorry, my LEC just gone. So let me just stop quick and put the generator on. So again, I just wanted to say, the representative said, I know Hassan said that as well. Let me just tell you this. Over the last 3 elections in New York, President Obama won against Mitt Romney by about 64%. It means 64% of the electorate voted for Democrats. And Hillary Clinton won by 60% against Trump. Biden won but 61% against Trump. It tells you about 60% of the voters are Democrats. It means if you were to select jurors, it is very more than any likely that all of the jurors you will take will be Democrats. I will say it again. There are times, let's take this plenty talking now, let's come to reality. Take President or what you name or President Boakai, carry him to Grand Crew County, make Akaros Gray the judge there, and take jurors from Grand Crew County. And come and tell me he will come back. All they think, sometimes let's bring these things in our little small country. And like I said from day one, nobody from Republican Party and even independent didn't think that Trump would have been guilty anyways. Even had they had jurors to vote the day before he would have been guilty. No matter how the journey. So this is something we should always have. Let's go.
Thank you, Isaac.
They may not open a whole pen.
Hold on 1 second. I think the issue here,
so
is whole representative is to be able to.
I just wanted 30 seconds.
The concern was, we're moving on to the next topic. The concern here is to look at the jury system and what has happened, like Mohammed said, related to the charges, what he was charged, what he was convicted of, the things that he did. I think that's the focus. The focus is not all whether Republican is going to vote for him to win. We're looking at the verdict now and the charges that were against him. So be it whatever side you may be on, we need to be able to look at it from the perspective of this is an American president who was accused, a former president who was accused of doing so many things, and now we see that he's been found guilty of all 34 counts. But we'll give you 30 seconds, Fadiga, just to comment on the water and sewage stuff, and then we want to talk to Representative Formula today about what happened at the House.
So one thing that I didn't hear people say, Mo Ali says something. Mo Ali said people built on the sewage line. And he made mention of, am I the one that's supposed to go and break the people's houses? Honestly, why is it so difficult to do? I know Mo Ali is not his duty. I don't know which entity is responsible. I'm sure it's MCC or something. But most times in Liberia, we look at political implication rather than doing the right thing. The people will not start coming here if people that have no business building in the alleys, building on those manholes. How do we expect everybody keep pushing the claim and looking the other way because this other person, that my friend, brother, sister? Look, it doesn't happen in other countries. It doesn't happen. If America were doing the same thing, would not be comfortable in this country. If the Ivorian and the Ghanaians were doing the same thing, if you're not supposed to build there, don't build there. Look, people will build their beautiful homes. Somebody will come and squat. This country has to be beautified. This country, we have to change and we have to transform this country at some point. I don't know who will do it. I don't know who will have to spend to do it, but that is not the answer. I know it's not Mo Ali problem, but those responsible, if you build on those manholes that have been sitting there for years, that people cannot go down in those drainages to dig it up, remove those houses. Right. It's a public safety thing. It's a hazard, and nobody should be sitting and eating where they got feces coming out of the place.
I know that pictures I was supposed to for the whole thing. The pictures are here. 2 seconds.
So hold on 1 second. Representative Formula is here. Let me get your take on this whole sewage system in Liberia. We have Mo Ali on earlier who was talking about the fact that they don't have enough time in the week. Because people have to sell, they only have a day. On Sunday they're able to go and try to drain the system. What is your opinion about what needs to happen? One of the issues Mo said was the fact that people have built on top of different sewage systems, so it's difficult to allow them to be able to drain the system. What do you have to say to that as a representative?
I think all of the things Mo were trying to really point out are all geared to geared towards how there can be additional revenue resources provided for the entity to have it work implemented. The amount provided by Water and Sewer, I think, is not sufficient. And if you look at our current revenue envelope, you agree with me that most of the entities out there providing services for the Liberian people are underfunded. So there is always a high need for revenue resources that will help to ensure that institutions can meet a full capacity. So there will always be need to ensure that you can have additional manpower, additional logistical support to ensure that that entity can meet up with it or clear objective. But it is a difficult thing to work in a limited resources and everyone asking for 100% results. It's a difficult thing. I think Mo has stressed out some of the things that has happened in the past where people build on major sewage line. It's difficult. You need some area, you need a code to step in, and you need money to finalize these processes. And a lot of things need to be handled. And the resources provided for some of the major entities are very infinitesimal. And at the end of the day, we are asking them to perform at their maximum level. We need to work along with stakeholders, especially the ARA. We are very grateful that we have an ARA boss that is saying he's willing to put in place mechanism to raise at least $1 billion. That next budget year, some of these institutions will have additional resources that we can start asking some of the hard questions. Because if you push more at it to the line, that he will tell you that I put in for 2-3 million and I got 500,000. It is less. It is far more less than what I believe these institutions will have been run on. So a lot of things need to be handled, and we need to be very realistic as to how we engage some of these institutions. So by being realistic, you look at the needs of the organizations and see some of the logistical support they need, that you can be able to say whether or not they are working.
All right, thank you. Tualu will give you you can go
Yeah,
ahead.
just seconds. Like I say, if you can pull up some of those pictures while I'm talking, I'm going to say this. Look, the representatives, right? Everybody's saying the same thing. Nobody's suggesting Mr. Ali should perform a miracle. What we are saying here is, look, this is a simple thing to clean the sewage line. This costs between $1,000 to $4,000. Now, we say, oh, it's difficult. Just be going through the pictures as we're going along. Most of you guys that are living in the West, this is, people don't have to actually go in the sewage line. They have to clean it. So there are machines there. This one costs around $3,000. Okay, go to the next one. I want people to see the light. Okay, they put them in the sewage line. You can clean these stuff. I'm not suggesting more do all of this immediately. But what I'm saying is, you have to find solutions around these things. You have to find solutions. I want you to show the night light. The night light costs between $900 to $5,000. This is this light. You're not using gasoline, no, it uses battery. So there are solutions around it, because in the daytime, if we cannot work, we got to find solution in the night. Nobody's suggesting that Mo's not doing his job. We need to stop this. Our job is to collectively find solutions to some of these problems. Let's work around them. That's what we're suggesting. But not to say, oh, Dr. Bube, teachers are Cottington. When I say something about Cottington, but they can't teach and see. No, I don't have to go teach and see. That's my argument.
All right, thank you.
So before we go further, I think Mo provided some pictures and videos regarding this conversation as to where the agency is and how they have been working over time, even though the resources are not many, but his team has been doing extremely well. If you will permit me now or later.
Go ahead, James.
Okay, so this is one of the videos.
That one with hop on the whole point mark and be spraying. I know that you are cold, you'll be eating now. Spraying. I be the pueblo.
This is like a 2 minute, and then we can go to the next. You have his team carry on repeat. Okay, so that's like for few seconds. And like few pages. We can go on and on. So just to tell you that the agency has been working overtime, though the money is not there right now to buy 5,000, 9,000, 4,000 equipment, but they are working overtime. Like you saw the men in the night still trying to repair pipes. Yeah.
Thank you, James. I think it's something that the representative can probably look into and see what they can do to help, because this has been a long-standing problem. The sewage problem in Liberia has been a problem, especially downwater, the extinctions and all of those things. So I know that Mo and his team, they're trying their best, but we just need to be able to see what extra that they can do, and the government also need to see how they can help subsidize the funding for them to be able to do a better job on what they're doing right now. So let's move into the next topic. House of Representative will let Representative Formula kind of talk to us about what happened today, and then we'll go around asking questions because the news are many. Some I saw a post where they say, Modado you all were ready to send him to prison. All of the DCs were hanging. So you're here. You can tell us what happened, and then we'll go around and ask questions.
I think a few days ago, the issue of rice became of national concern. The conversation has been back and forth in terms of investors trying to increase the price of rice based on some decisions in India. And two of our colleagues wrote a communication, one Honorable Matthew Joe and Honorable Safoko Frank. That communication has to do with inviting the Commerce Minister to come before plenary and state as to why some of these things were unfolding, and the House wanted some clarity on them. That was the essence of it. The issue of the price, the issue of what was the clear positions of the investors, and whether we have rice sufficient in the country, because they were raising a lot of national concern, and even up to now. So there was a formal communication sent out inviting the Commerce Minister to appear before plenary on the 20th, which was last Tuesday. And upon receiving that communication, the Minister of Commerce sent an excuse informing the House that he was traveling with the President to Gambia. And that communication is here. I can share that with you. Thereafter, I think there was some other conversation within the executive that we learned a few hours later that the trip was then canceled, but some colleague of the House saw the minister in an official program while he had already sent an excuse to the House. So we took that as an affront, and the minister was asked to reappear on today. And when the minister appeared, he acknowledged that he didn't travel, he was within the country. As such, the House came up with a formal position that the minister be here in contempt and come along with his lawyer on Tuesday, that he can give reason why he should not be held in contempt. So that was what unfolded today. So some colleague of ours wanted him to be here in contempt and be sent to jail today, but our argument was that he needed due process, which is a fundamental human right, and we needed to give him the opportunity to appear before us with his lawyer, that we can be able to take a formal decision. So that was the scenario you observed, and it was a back and forth political conversation within that theater.
All right. So we'll go around asking questions. I want to also
the video.
Yes, if you have the video, to show the video, and then we can go to the questions time.
All right, let's begin with the minister.
Before we commence our deliberations, there are a few questions, Mr. Minister, please. You listen to your communication, Mr. Minister. Is it true that you traveled to the country?
No, I did not.
Can we say you misinformed this party?
Well, I don't believe so, because I indicated that it was due to a trip. And we did not take the trip because of several circumstances, including asking about participation.
I don't think so. Sufficient. Correct, please. Sorry, please.
So, if you want, I can get one or two of the lawmakers'
Yes,
reaction. All right.
let's do that.
All right, let's begin with Representative Koga.
Saying things and providing evidence that do things. The minister, in his communication in chief, he made mention to us that he was traveling based upon that he did not come. The House would like to know which airline did he travel with? Cancellation ticket. And which country that this program was intended for. And then lastly, how many persons from his ministry that were point along with me? The reason why I'm asking the question,
And my point of order is that we should be moving forward until we set the record straight. Just 3 people yesterday, the Minister of Commerce should have been here. The letter written suggested to us that the Minister of Commerce was out of context. My point of order is, before we go to the middle of the matter, the Minister needs to tell us when he arrived here, because he delayed the people's work. Whereas Mr. Presiding, there are evidences that we can show that suggest that this minister was in country and he refused to head the
So, yeah.
Before we go around, is one of the places that I'm always discouraged to watch is the House. I'm sorry, I don't mean any disrespect, but it's so disorderly every time. It's either that you all are sharing mic or no one is giving their friends their colleague the time to speak. It's just so. Let me hear from you. What when you're watching this and you see how your colleagues are behaving, how they're responding, what says you about your performance in the House?
The first thing is that I think there's a formal committee currently called modernization to see how best we can be able to address some of the mark issue, some modern we can be able to modernize the theater to ensure that we'll not be shifting mark here and there. And you agree with me that you have 50 to 70 people sharing one mark, the demand for that single mark will be very high. And someone will want to say something and their colleague have the similar mark. So I think the issues that have to do with modernization is something that we take very important, and that will help to ease some of the noise you get from the background, because everyone wants to say something and the other person have the mark. So you always have a back and forth, especially when you have a tense situation where a colleague want to make their voice to be heard. That's another issue. Yes, I will agree with you that not always people want to get the feedback you get from the House. I think most often these things occur when there are issues people have a lot of different opinion on, and people are trying to fight back on how to present it to the public. So this situation was a tense situation today, and you have observed most of those situations that will have lawmakers going back and forth with colleagues saying things only because they want to put out their position. And the issues of the minister been very important because it has to do with our stable food in terms of how we can be able to address it. So Yes.
I think
From
Representative, I think
on
you're trying to be politically correct, but every
yeah.
time that
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
say I want to. Most often when I give my position, you always say I want to be politically
yes,
correct.
you are, because
But,
I want to tell you,
but the reality remains is that what I believe the reality is that yes, you got the noise, but that's a political theater. And if some of the issues are not addressed, especially when you have the issue of mark, you have over 50 to 70 people sharing a single mark. You will always find the back and forth. Oh, Mr. Speaker, my hand is up and you need to recognize me. If you had a mark, a sign at your desk, you only pluck it up and say what you want to see. You not need to go after the next mark. So the issue of modernization is something we consider very important. And I think there's some resources that have been set aside to see how best we can go back to the old chamber that will help to reduce some of the noise you observe from the back. It's something that we believe this is the kind of country we have found ourselves in. We will adjust and be able to fit up to the
so I want to
international
we're
standard
gonna
that we
move
expect out of us.
on to ask questions, but I want
But
to
more
say
than that,
this is
more than
this
that, more than that,
yes.
I think the issue you had lawmaker going back and forth on was the communication sent by the minister. The minister saying his communication, let me just read for you. He said, in respect thereof, I regret to inform you of my inability to honor this invitation, meaning the Tuesday invitation. He should have been in session last Tuesday. He was not in session. He wrote an official excuse that he was going to Gambia. And I think on the same day, he was seen in an official program representing the Ministry of Commerce.
Okay.
So the House took that to be a serious disrespect. And it is from that backdrop that you have colleagues saying he should be held in contempt and sent to jail. And some of us were saying
So
he
in order
needed due process.
in order to give everybody the time, and I'm not going to forget my thought. But one of the first things I spoke to representatibility about was the noise in the House. I've continued to follow the House of Representatives. Whether the topic is a hot topic, whether it's about rice, whether it's about water, whether it's about pepper soup, the noise is always disorderly. And I think when we're watching, something needs to happen. Like there's someone who's in the lead seat that people have to be able to
I
listen.
think any Gladys, you need to take the harsh word disorderly. They are honorable men.
How would you like me to describe it?
I think there's noise.
Noise.
If you-
Okay, I take it back. The noise
Okay.
is just
You need to
always
take that
so
one right.
much. Yes, I take it back. The
So-
noise is, and I hope you all can do something about that. But anyway, let's go to Uncle Sam, Dr. Broplet, James, good day. Welcome, Isaac. We'll go to Fadiga, Twalu, Mami, and then Isaac Vaktupa to ask. Please ask one question and then we can do another round.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Representative Famula. Nice to see you again. I'll make a quick statement that I'm going to ask my question. I am concerned about the cacophony in the chamber, right? But I've seen a lot of deliberative bodies around the world where people fight, they throw temper tantrums and all of that. Okay, so I'm not too concerned about that. Okay, I think they will resolve that. But I'm looking at the substantive issue of Minister Amin Modad. A very good friend, but I've been very disappointed in him for the following reasons. Minister Modad announced an increase in the price of rice. And apparently he didn't have the approval or the consultation of his boss. The next day, President called the rice importers, had a meeting with them, and I understand he walked out. Okay. And I see all this thing with MedTech, with CTN, and I mean, I know I mean to be somebody who is decisive. I know somebody who is run a serious business in Liberia. Okay, but I don't see him having because at least he's not. I'm sure he's doing a lot of stuff that he's not communicating. But what is being manifested out there is not the Amin Modal that I know. So I just want you, take off your partisan lenses and just speak to that. Do you think that Minister Modad has done everything that he can to address the rights issue and the other substantive issue of MedTech and CTN?
The first issue, Mr. Johnson, is that how do I see the race situation? I see the race situation as something that we as a country need to address hands on. We need to be able to put in place a policy that will help to create an opportunity where there is an emergency, government can step in to ease that stress of the ordinary Liberian bar. Because if there is a prolonged negotiation between the investors and the government that has to do with price, the next thing you observe, that people might be on the street protesting because the businessman out there is in the position only after profit. The government here is trying to put in place policy that will benefit her own people. Our argument now is to sit with the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Commerce, to ensure that we are trying to introduce a policy that will have government creating an entity that will move into the market and spend at least 10% of what was created, what was used on the purchase of rice the last fiscal year, to save that amount within the country, that when there is any emergency, that entity can step into the market to create a balanced playing field that will alleviate fear in the minds of the people that we are running into another rice crisis. So the issue of whether have the technical know-how, like I said to you, most of the institutions we have observed in public service providing a lot of services for our people are either understaffed, they lack basic full budgetary support to ensure that they can be able to achieve a lot of their own programs that will help better the lives of the Liberian people. So we are looking at it from the public policy standpoint, that we can be able to find a solution for the current situation we have, and that policy will be placed on the floor in the next few days. That policy will help to solve what we have on hand. So yes, whether come with an experience, yes, he be in the market, but sometimes they are controlling there are controlling factors in the market that we do not have control over. We have the investors who believe that they've been staying this process for years, and they will always want to get you at a point where you are either at a gunpoint and say we want to increase price, and government will not, because the importance of rice is just not an ordinary commodity in our country. It's a political commodity that 70 to 90% of the Liberian people believe that if they are not eating the rice, they are not doing anything. So it's something we need to be very strategic. It's something we need to take a keen attention to be able to solve this problem. It's not something only for the Ministry of Commerce. It's something as a government, we are putting in policy that will help to shift this country in the right direction.
Second question.
There's one question he almost gave, and then we come around.
Sorry.
We'll come back. Dr. Propler.
Thank you, Glennie. Representative Fumbler, thank you for the work you're doing. Appreciate you. I want to ask you though, because you talk about the microphone situation. Even before you got to that place, there was still. I know you said we shouldn't say disorderly, but I like that better because, quite frankly, it describes what's happening there. It looks very disorderly. But even before that time, when they had on the other side of the mic, there were still people standing up and threatening that if you call the president this again.
So that you want me to ask you to take the word back, saying you still want to use it?
No. Hold on, Rep. You're doing all right. Hold on right there. I want to ask you.
Is that just for me? It's for the house now.
Well, man, now don't do that. Don't do that. I'm solution oriented. So, and people, refer to places like Great Britain. The British make a lot of noise in their parliament, a whole lot of noise, way more than we're making here. Don't compare us with the British because they're a super developed country. We're not. So we need the order. We need to pull meaning from our conversations because too many of people depending on you to do the job. So I just want to ask, how often does your very honorable body do any kind of training in parliamentarian session discussion, consensus building? I wonder how often does the Honorable House engage in that kind of training? Because I think it will be good for the Honorable House. It will help with your productivity, and you represent us, so it will certainly help Liberia.
So they are training from a lot of different organizations, organizing workshops. Lawmakers are involved with those workshops. So, like you said, you made reference of the British Parliament, and you observe that yes, sometimes they raise their voice when there are issues that you have a lot of people with separate opinion on. And what I can always say to you is that that's a political space. You cannot tell as to how people present their side of the argument. Some people want to grandstand, and it could be for a specific political reason that they want to grandstand. Some people who believe that when they filibuster, it will help to solve some of the issues. It will help to delay some of the issues. So a lot of things is unfolding within that theater. So it depends on what is unfolding. It depends on what one will want to achieve. And in the context of that, you can be able to have a clear analysis of what you can consider as noise, whether in the context of politics. Sometimes I pray that any guy will not say, I want to be politically right, because I want to say to you, because if I'm grandstanding and politically itself my purpose, I have an intent. That is a political theater. It depends on what that individual want to achieve politically that will benefit their people. So it is in the context of what that individual want to achieve that you see his attitude, his posture on the floor. He's putting out a specific posture that you might not see the next day. If because the next time you see he is kind, maybe his district interest is not threatened. If I'm aware that my district interest will be threatened, take for an example, I wrote a communication, it has to do with China Union. I believe I do not have the majority number on my side, but by grandstanding, by filibustering on the floor, I could delay a vote on that issue. You might say, oh, Formula is making noise today, but my district interest is at stake. So it depends on whether that individual you are saying grandstanding, his interest or his community interest is not at stake, and as such, you can have a fair assessment of his attitude.
Yeah, but let me follow up with Dr. Propler. Dr. Propler asked a specific question on workshops and training.
I said there are a lot of different workshops unfolding from different NGOs. I said that.
Okay.
I said that.
Okay.
I said that.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. I just want to make sure it would be good. It would be good that we get to know that there are some trainings going on there.
I said there are a lot of workshops going on. A lot.
All right. Thank you, James.
Yeah. Good evening, Honorable Lawmaker.
Yeah, James. Good day.
Yeah. I don't know whether you trying to hold us in contempt if you keep saying people should stop repeating these other presentations at the House of Representatives.
No, when he was referencing the people in Great Britain, he said they can make noise. When he comes back to Liberia, he said we are adding this already. So I just want everyone to take that word back and let her use noise.
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to intimidate us by.
That's cool.
All right, so let's go to the discussion on the table. Today we saw you, and the presentations were here and there. The major target was not touched, which has to do with the rest situation. You called Minister Moda in today, and all we could see or hear from you in the House was noise. Here and there, talking about imprisonment, no, let's follow the right procedure. The Liberian people, as we speak, they are not satisfied with the outcome today from their lawmakers, because they expected you to come up with a decision that was going to push the executive to either backtrack their statement or to improve what they announced previously. So why you did not keep your eyes on the ball instead of going for personal power or showmanship, instead of going for showmanship against Minister Moda, instead of keeping your eyes on the ball?
The first thing is that the Liberian people, I think they are grateful that one of the president who was part of the press conference increasing the price of rice was being held in contempt today, whether it was on the basis of procedural issue or on the basis of the substantial issue that was before the House. But he was held in contempt. It means there's some step to ensure that the House is trying to address this situation.
Honorable lawmaker, this minister was now held in contempt for the rest issue.
This minister was held in contempt for failure to appear and provide misinformation to the House. To the House own best collection, he was held in contempt because he provided misinformation. That's one. Two, one of the reasons why you observe the flow was good, there was like back and forth in terms of argument, was that from the onset, majority of the guys on the floor argument, majority of my colleague argument was that he should be held in contempt and be sent to jail immediately for providing misinformation. There were some of us who were on the floor that said he should be given due process. If we're holding in contempt, we should hold in contempt. Ask him to go back and come on Tuesday with his lawyer and provide reason why he stalled the operation, the activities or the operations or activities of the House. So you had the functions of the House being stalled because we wanted to know few details when it comes to the issue of rice, and he provided an information that he was in the country, he was traveling to Gambia, and we observed that he was in the country. As such, we wanted him to provide that clarity. And the issue was holding contempt today and sending him to jail. Another group of people said no, holding today in contempt, allow him to have due process. That was the back and forth. And you observe some people want the action to be taken now. Other guys are saying we need due process. And it was because of that issue you had a back and forth. And it is because of that you heard other guys raising their voice in session.
Thank you, James. Fadiga, one question.
All right. Well, today it was another day. Noise, confusion, whatever it is. But there have been instances where we have seen lawmaker behaving disorderly. I can name a couple of them. When former Representative Akaros was there, even my good friend Yeke have done some things that we could perceive as disorderly. My thing with the whole Abi Moda, I come here, I go into the Yeke thing. Well,
Fine, guys. So this other word you want to be going around.
The disorderly. I know you like that word. Oh Lord, somebody trying to call the disorderly word. But anyway, the honorable men don't like that word, so we're taking from our vocabulary. But as far as the Amin Moda case, are you guys planning to discuss the rice issue? Because I've spoken with Minister Moda on this issue. I know personally how he feels about this rice issue, and I know we've gone to extensively discuss that issue. I know where his heart is. Do you guys plan to invite him in? What is your plan to solve this rice issue?
We are not just planning.
Now.
Yes, what I'm saying to you, we are not just planning only to discuss this issue. We are trying to propose a bill in the next few hours, in the next not less than 72 hours, a bill that will help to address the issue that have to do with the scarcity of rice and how to manage emergency when it comes to rice. We're trying to solve that problem, and that has to do with the public policy analysis of it. We are working on that, and we are putting that process in place that latest next week, there will be a formal bill placed on the floor to address the issues that has to do with rice. In the face of that, we want to know from the minister as to what informed his decision when he discussed the issue of increasing the price of rice. Although the president has disagreed with the investors and we are at a stalemate, we want to be able to understand as to what was the basic information provided by investors to this minister that informed his decision. So, yes, we are discussing finding way out
Can
of
you also tell who proposing it?
Huh?
Who is proposing it? Can you please?
I'm one of the agitators of that bill. Honorable P. Madri is one of the agitators of that bill, and that bill will be on the floor within the next between now and Tuesday, within the next 2 session days, either Tuesday or Thursday. We are trying to build consensus on it.
All right, Dwalu. Thank you,
Uh,
Dwalu.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. I'm a stickler for calling things the way they are. I hate when people use euphemistic way to describe something. It doesn't provide solution for it. This already was actually a very small, it was a nicer word, and I'll use a better word here. I'm going to say this. The legislature, people were on the phone. People were walking around. There is better decorum in Douala market than the legislature. It was chaotic. It was worse than disorderly. We got to stop dressing things up if we want to find a solution in this country. Look, the people behave as though they have no respect for the Liberian people. That's how the legislature was today, or the House of Representatives. My question to the representatives is this: why should Ami Moda respect the representative when they themselves don't even respect themselves, how they behave in the House, in the people's house? That's my question to you.
So I don't know in the context of what Duadu is speaking the way he speaks. But I will tell you the first thing is that every lawmaker in their respect themselves, they have always put in place attitude that befit their district. And some of the issues, like I said, when you observe lawmakers are raising their voice in session, it is on the basis of a lot of different issues. If he believes that his district interest is threatened, that his community interest is threatened, his people interest is threatened, and as such, he needs to have the number. If he doesn't have the number, he's trying to lobby the floor. There's nowhere in the world where you have a session and lawmakers are now walking the floor, talking to each other, trying to build consensus on issues when they are on the floor. So nowhere, there's nowhere in the world. So maybe sometimes we have not been in the politics to understand some of the issues playing, to understand some of the way lawmakings are done, to understand as to how people try to lobby the floor to get colleague on their side. So you will see lawmaker walking to the next table, to the next desk to talk to his colleague and tell him, say, this is how I'm seeing it. I really want you to go along with me on this issue when votes are taken. When votes are taken, I need your support on this issue. So you always see the back and forth. People are on the floor trying to work the floor to get colleague sign with them. So when you see lawmaker walking through that theater, you say, oh, why are they walking? Nowhere around the world. Other chambers, you observe sometimes some lawmakers were about fighting in chamber when they seriously disagree. We have seen all of those videos. So you're telling me that they were not they were fighting on the basis of an issue?
You didn't answer my question, Honorable.
Oh.
My question, you didn't get a question.
Yeah, let me get it.
Okay,
right.
If you cannot follow your own rules and regulations to have decorum in the people's house, why should Ami Moda care about what you have to say? That's my question.
No, what I said to you, there was an issue before the House that created this kind of situation you saw. One, there were lawmakers in there that were asking that Ami be charged for contempt for providing misinformation to the House. Other lawmakers said, no, there's a need to get Ami due process. It is in the face of those two arguments that you heard the noise, that you heard colleagues raising their voice to ensure that they could be able to walk the floor and get other guys on their side. And those who said Ami needed due process won the day. He was given the opportunity to go by and come with a lawyer to be given due process to give reason why he should not be held in contempt. So the colleague who was saying Ami should be held in contempt and taken to jail, they did not get the votes on the floor. So you had it back and forth. People are trying to build consensus. So more than that, you cannot say that it's equated to the fact that Ami should disrespect the Liberian people by providing misinformation to the House. No. We are honorable people. We have interest in knowing what informed Ami decision to announce an increase in the price of rice. And it is sufficient for the Liberian people. The Liberian people wanted that information and they are still interested in that information. So by doing that, if an individual out there provide misinformation to the House, you say that individual should they respect the Liberian people only because they were raising their voice to build consensus on how to proceed?
That's not what I said, Honorable.
I really want to know what you.
Okay, this is what I said. Let me repeat, Lenny, for the sake of clarity. This is my question. If you cannot respect your own rules and regulations, why should Ami Muda respect your rules and regulations? Or are you calling them?
You are saying in the House, let me say this to you, lawmaker filibuster. In the House, lawmaker bill.
That is not filibuster.
No, Kevin, Duaru.
Okay, go ahead.
I will not speak
No,
like the way
ahead,
you
sir.
see it. I'm saying what I do know. Lawmaker will filibuster. Lawmaker will argue. Lawmaker will raise their voice. Lawmaker will try to build consensus on the floor. They are building consensus in the interest of their community, in the interest of the country. In the face of that, no one who say a minister should provide misinformation to that body, to that August body, only because they were raising their voice to build consensus, so that minister should provide misinformation to them. I think they will not be fair to the Liberian people. Lawmakers in there were elected to protect the Liberian people and represent the interests of people with diverse background. So you always see them going back and forth on issues. They will not agree almost all the time, but they were agreed on getting a situation solved in a given way. So you cannot say someone should they respect a lawmaker only because internally they are raising their voice, because our rules are clear. None of the lawmakers you saw them placed out of the they were asked out. No, all of the lawmakers within the House, they were not discussing issue out of our own rules. Our rules are very clear, and I think you need to have a copy and read it. You need to have journalists on the phone. You had journalists recording the session. They were on the phone. So you saw people with phone in their hand. You had journalists recording the session. So I don't know who you are really referring to.
Representative, I don't want us to go back to show the video, but there are several and to Dwalu's point, this is not the first time we've seen this. This is something that happens all the time. So your response cannot be to Dwalu because people they're defending their district, or they see something is happening, something is that district, something is being violated, or all of those responses that you're giving. This is an ongoing thing. This happens almost all the time you all are in session. I tell you, I follow the House. I make sure when you guys are on, I watch it. This is every time there is some form of noise, there's orderliness all the time. And it doesn't come from the journalists. It comes from you all. So if we're seeing this, and this is something that we're seeing over and over, then you all need to work on this, because the appearance doesn't look good. I understand that people want to be able, like you said, people want to be heard. They want to promote whatever their interests and stuff, but it doesn't look good. And I hope that you all can work on this. I mean, every representative that I've come here, and this is my question all the time. When Musa Belete, the first thing he said, representative, he said, "Oh, well, the speaker is working on getting mics for whatever it is worth. You all can get standing mics. When it's time for someone to speak, they can get up and go to the mic and speak. You don't have to be carrying mics around. We're in 2024. The respect that our host deserves, we want to be able to see that shown also to the public. So we don't need to be passing one orange mic from one person to the next. Standing mics, when it's your turn to speak, come to the mic until you all can have an additional microphone for the system, for your office. But it doesn't look good, honestly. Really doesn't. We don't need to keep going back and forth, but this is what we see. And I've seen this for many years.
So, like I said, as time go by, the issue of modernization will help to solve some of these problems.
Okay.
When we have marketplace in section on all the desks, and lawmaker having access to them, and you can sit on your desk and just touch a button, and at the end of the day, you are speaking, and your colleague will be able to listen. You'll not find people going after the single mic. For me, I will have individuals that have a problem to have not more than 30, 40 people sharing the same mic. I'll have a personal problem. But I think modernization in the house will try to solve some of the problems, and we will not see it. I see someone sending a message that they are willing to provide voting machine, they are willing to provide mark to the house. Is something that make a lot of sense, and we'll try to use some of these things to help reduce the way we argue. I'm sitting here today, you are asking questions. If all of us have similar opportunity, it means the fight that you have lawmaker raising their voice might not be the same. But if you have 5 people standing in here want to talk on the same mark, someone will be saying something and he will not, and another person want to step in. So get 5 people at the same time on the same mark and see whether you now have similar situation.
All right. Okay.
So I'm saying the issue of modernization will help to solve some of the problems you are seeing now. Some of the countries you're giving reference to, you cannot tell me that this country you have lawmakers sharing the same mark. You have 4 or 5 lawmakers sharing the same mark. You observe that some lawmakers will even be asked to yield to their friend and they will still be talking.
Okay.
They will
So
still be talking.
we hope that it does help, as you're saying.
So this process is all the speaker have announced this committee. They are working. They are trying to see whether we can move to the old chamber and be able to work on some of the issues, because almost everyone out there are raising the same issue because they want to listen to what people are saying. They want to hear what we are doing. They want to follow this the house. They want to really understand what is it that people are saying and what is their personal position on specific issue. But when people start to raise their voice, they might not get anything the next day. So you might only ask that lawmaker for the formal communication he served the house.
All right.
So the issue of modernization will help to solve this problem.
We hope it does, because we're going on now to 4 months and it's still the same. So hopefully in this new house, something will happen and we'll see a difference. Isaac, you want to ask your question, please?
Sure. Greetings to all the listeners out there. Thank you to the honorable for coming on and for demanding that we respect them as honorables, even though you can also call your noisemakers at times. But yes, modernization is necessary. We have been in a stone age with regards to lawmakers' participation, lawmakers voting, just the entire platform that represents our lawmakers is just absent from a technology standpoint. So hopefully you guys can lead the modernization across government, get yours set up and advocate for it, across government. So in terms of those kind of things, when you need help, there are a lot of librarians in the technology area, a lot of companies out there that can really help the legislature jump into the 21st century. But my issue is the whole rights thing. You and one of your colleagues will be coming up with a bill. Hopefully, at some point today, you can give us some high level.
Isaac, hold on one second. We'll come back to the rights thing, go around, but wanted to ask specifically about what happened today in the house with Day and Ami Moda. Are you familiar? That's what we're dealing with right now.
Yes. Okay. So with regards to, was the core issue comparatively immaterial to the extent that the focus was on, whether you're incarcerating or whether you're getting leniency? Is it a power drive as opposed to finding solutions to the issues and really understanding where he was coming from in his engagement with the rights importers, with his statement to the country, with the response from Boyka, and where he is today? What really is the primary issue that should be driving this, as opposed to whether he's in contempt and will go to jail or not go to jail?
I think the core issue here is to discuss what informed the minister's decision when it comes to the issue of increasing the price of rice. That was the core issue. But why discussing the core issue? The minister was invited last Tuesday, and he said that he didn't attend the session. He sent an excuse, asking that we excuse him. He was on a trip to Gambia. And within hours, we saw the minister in another official program taking photo, and he didn't give any reason why. So he appeared. That would be the first issue. Why you did not come to to answer to the issue that has to do with rice. The issue that has to do with increasing the price of rice is very important. And it is from that backdrop we all want to know. The Liberian people want to know. So to have a minister who will not turn out when lawmakers want to understand what informed his decision, but send a communication that delayed their function, it is from that backdrop that that caveat was sent out to all ministers who will want to delay the functions of the House. And Ami was just an example of what the lawmaker believe as disrespect. But
I got a second
the
question.
importance of the price of rice.
I mean, since your lab mama is not here, you can follow up and then we'll go around.
Yeah, so with regards, you've been there now, what? Going on 4 months, right?
Yes, 4 months.
So do you think any of the training is taking hold? Because you talked about the training, you talk about training from different sources. But sometimes people go and sit in the trainings, or the trainings are scheduled and they don't really participate. But to actually exemplify the learnings from the training or practice it or put it into effect, sometimes it's very limited. Will you say you guys are absorbing whatever training you're getting, or you're not sure about what the impact of the training is?
I think I believe the training is having some impact on member of the House. The different workshop, the different training with different organizations is having a lot of different impact. But like I said, the issue of modernizing the theater will help to ease some of the trouble you on this platform discussing. Because if that house is not modernized, you will have people running after the same mark at the same time. So take for an example, I'm saying this clear. I'm sitting in this studio, I alone this mark, and no one wanting to use this mark. If you have 5 or 6 colleagues of mine sitting in the same studio, in the process of asking for the same mark, why asking for it? Someone will raise their voice, someone want to be heard. You will tell someone, hey, it is not your time. It is the next gentleman's time. So a lot of things will happen on the single mark. If the house in question is a theater is modernized, will not face such a problem. It will help to reduce that situation at least 90%. And I think it will take us a long way. It will help to solve a lot of problems. It will help to create a new atmosphere within the house.
Okay. Mommy want to start with you. Somebody was saying something?
No, I was
Mommy,
just
go ahead. Go ahead, Mommy.
I get a couple of comments to make in the time frame allotted to me. I don't have like a specific question for the honorable. You see, the thing about training, that whole modernization thing. I mean, I don't want to be pessimistic. I'm optimistic the modernization will work. Let's look at it, let's learn from mistakes. But this is not the first time. A lot of money being spent on modernization in the legislature. Honorable Edwin Snow was the head for the modernization committee in the past. Do not pump in money and resources to modernize our legislature. And here are we again today. So, training. One thing I've learned over the time that I've been working, and I used to make decisions on when people bring proposals around training for me to approve. The first thing I ask for is training need assessment. Before you conduct the training, what is the available training need assessment conducted on the legislature that establish gaps that these workshops come in to fill in? Until we can see training need assessment, the workshop most of the time just for people to justify. I mean, if that donor providing this, somebody donor just to come and brand themselves. I mean, we conducted training to the legislature, pulling in their profile. Legislators sit there just to take the picture. I'm not saying this is your case, but I work most of the time, receive some of these proposals for training. And the first question is, what's the training need assessment? Most of the time, resources are spent on training in the absence of training need assessment because people who are participating in training have not accepted that there's a need for them to be trained. So for that reason, they just sit there for the formality and leave. And in some instances, because like for the people who work with, to get sitting fees. But because they've not accepted that I have this gap, I need to learn this thing. So for this reason, I'm sitting in this training to learn. That is not there. Once the training need assessment doesn't establish that, Any other thing is just for formality. On the rest issue, I see something happening with the whole Amin Moda thing, and we need to be careful. I think it's going beyond rest now. It's getting into a very deep politics. When somebody say, oh, Medtech, and Amin Moda have not canceled Medtech. Oh, CTN, Amin Moda have not canceled CTN. Medtech and CTN is a government policy. It's in the budget. The budget is the president's budget. But you blame Amin Mudad. The president was angry with mining companies. He went there. He expressed his anger. He's concerned about the rubber issue. He constituted a committee to review it. He's concerned about the rest issue. He constituted a committee. If you don't want CTN and Medtech, how does it become an Amin Mudad issue?
They wrote the letter. Maybe that's why they wrote the letter.
Which letter? Which
letter?
letter?
That was floating around in the chat room.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know which letter. But
you see that? Wasn't there a letter in the chat room from LRA and Amin that said yes?
Justifying Medtech and CTN.
Yes, that's why people blame them, I think.
Yeah.
From LRA, Comrade justifying Medtech and CTN.
Yeah. I mean, to continue Medtech and CTN, yeah.
Because they see Amin Moda came and made a case about the risks or the difficulty in increasing the price or reducing the price of rice. The president came and said, no, we can reduce it. So if there is a policy that the president disagrees with, that his cabinet disagrees with, we can see the reaction. But I don't think the CTN and Medtech issue is a one minister issue. Like all the other issues in the country, it's not a one minister issue. Amin Moda's decision to not go to the legislature and read a letter, I think the legislature should take action against him for that. There has been a culture where, I mean, you can talk all the things you want to say about the legislature, but they represent people. If the legislature invites you, go there and say what you have to say. But to make excuses that you cannot justify, it's a problem. And I think he should be penalized for that. But the extent to which I suspect that this thing is going is not just about he's not coming to the legislature to explain, but it's more than that. That's how I feel. That's my opinion.
All right. Thank you.
When you say more, what do you mean? Now let the people understand. You mean there's a political play to remove him, that people undermining him, or what?
It doesn't necessarily have to be to remove him. I know the rest is a political issue. It could be about interest for compel compliance. Somebody wants you to do something, somebody pushing you to do something, and feel that if they create a condition where they can compel you to comply, then you have to comply. That's how I feel.
Okay, thank you. So at this juncture, we're gonna go around with one more question. Ask the representative. We can ask you anything, right, representative? That's okay.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, but before we go to that segment, we want to wish on behalf of Spoon TV and everyone up here, we want to wish John Molu a very happy birthday. Happy birthday, John, from Stanton and all of us, CEO, TT, everybody here. We wish you. We hope this year you will grow some height. But happy birthday, John.
Hey, no. I won't have you messing with a birthday ball, man. What are you looking at?
3 inches taller. 3 inches tall.
3 inches tall. We hope you become
she's just a fossil woman.
Well, happy birthday, John. We thank God for adding another year to your life. And thank God for all that you do. We hope you had a splendid day today. We'll start with good day. This is open question pass. Any question you want to ask the representative, it could be about rice. It could be about 100 days. It could be about 200 days. It could be about bond counting. It could be about bond mines. Whatever question you have for the representative, he's always ready. He's here. Let's go around one each, and then we'll get to our closing.
Okay. Again, happy birthday to Honorable Molu. My question directly to the lawmaker has to do with this deep state that is in Liberia that has suffer the people of Liberia, I think, since that time, or we can go as back as Toddball, or let's stop to Ellen. The deep state, specifically those members of the deep state, the active members of the deep state in Liberia, are the rice importers. These people have the influential power to control government policy. That is, they don't have to talk on the radio. They can carry on their deep state attitude in just minimizing what the amount that they release to the market. So my concern is, how can we break down this cartel, this deep state cartel that has been manipulating government upon government? And if we fail, they may continue for the next 100 years to come, because they are situated in a position that even the Liberians will, fall for them, because they present themselves to be the good guys, and then the government is the bad guy. So what the lawmakers are doing, or what the legislators are doing in order to break this deep state down, by bringing out policies that will empower ordinary Liberians to bring rest in country.
So, if you listen to me from the onset, I said to you, good day, that we have put together a policy that we believe will help to address this situation. And that policy will be placed on the floor as a bill not later than Tuesday. The essence of that policy is to ensure that we can have an entity that will be run by directors that will take into consideration to monitor the market, especially the rice market, and be able to spend, government should be able to spend at least 10% on the amount that was used the previous year on the purchase of rice. So take for an example, if we spend around 20 million, 10% will be not more than $20 million, 200 million, and 20% of that is something around $20 million. If 20 million is spent by this entity to purchase rice into the country in the face of an emergency, that entity steps into the market and create an assurance for the Liberian people that we have rice that can keep this market stable for the next 3 to 6 months while we negotiate the price of rice or bring in additional rice. Because this is the issue. The issue is that some of the investors will tell the Ministry of Commerce that I'm coming, I'm going out, I'll bring something around 500 bags of rice. And our investors go and bring 400 bags. There's a shortage of 100 bags. In the face of that, if there's no one monitoring the importations of rice, the investor who bring in less to create unnecessary scarcity on the market. And you need to have this entity that will step into the market to monitor, to step in when there's emergency that will help to cure the rice situation. Because rice is a serious commodity, we need to take it heads on. And it is from that backdrop we believe that this policy, this bill will help to address this rice issue, and they will play a major role in stabilizing the price of rice, in purchasing local produced rice, storing it, and moving into the market where there is an emergency. Because the situation here, if the dealers or the investors, like you call them deep state, want to hold this government or any government hostage, they could say, send the president, say he dropping rice, we own our rice. They like their store, get on plane and leave the country. We'll run into a serious chaos. So we need to have an entity that will be able to move into the market, purchase. This idea is from what happened in Poland. When Russia decided to cut the pipeline in Poland, Russia did not know that there was an entity that Poland has established that was purchasing gas and storing it. On that day that Russia cut the pipeline, it was sufficient for a coup in Poland. The head of the entity had a press conference and informed the country that they had gas in the country that could run Poland for not less than 1 year. And while they are trying to provide gas at a stable price, they will find alternative route to get gas into the country. It was sufficient for that economy. It didn't create any panic, And I believe it is similar thing we want to put in place, in as much as we are aware that this commodity is something that we need to consider very important. So you have Honorable Pima, Jure, and myself. We on this, and we're going to introduce it not later than Tuesday.
Yeah, just
if you want for me to share with you, I can share a copy with you. You can read through it. You can say anything. We want for other people to have an input into it, because we want to have this document, this institution. Because let me say this to you: some of the institutions we have, they were formed when there was serious policy need for them. We are gradually moving into a modern area where we need to craft policy that will address situations as they come on. And those policies should help to solve problems. And it is that problem I think we are trying to solve. And believe me, good day, if that law is passed, that law will solve all of the issues. We're taking it with two ways. We're moving into the rice, we're moving into gas. Because the similar thing you find around rice, where you find investor playing with price, playing with importation, the similar thing happening with gas, where sometimes the investors will hold back and create unnecessary scarcity on the market and increase price.
So just a quick follow-up, please.
Go ahead.
Okay, Honorable Representative, I reported on a legislature before leaving Liberia, right? And I'm also doing political science. I know exactly the mindset of cartel. You talking about legislation. There are legislation that entered our house since Ellen regime. They are still in committee room. So based on that, what are the major strategic plans instead of waiting for a legislation that will need the House of Representatives approval and then the Senate before going to the president for enactment? So we are asking you, as the first branch of government, what are you doing in the meantime that will make the executive or backing the executive to make sure that this deep state in our country is out? We were babies when this deep state was established in our country. They marginalized our people, and today we are getting older. They are still doing it. Our children will come to see them again. What are you doing now? While the legislation is going through, what are the quick impact, implementations that you are bringing on the table that will make President Bouaka and his members in the executive to, solve this problem?
So, Goody, the first issue is that we are all aware there's a crisis already. There's the issue of price being discussed. The president of this country has announced a committee to come up with an idea. In the face of the committee, there are legislators out there who have a policy and want to introduce it and share that policy with that committee to see whether it makes sense with them. Because if the president buy into this idea, believe me, we pass it at the lower house, we get the votes on it, because the issue of rights, no one want to hold back their votes. Everyone want to ensure that this policy is passed. When it is at the level of the Senate, you are in the media. We will come on this medium maybe by Tuesday to discuss that policy. All of us should see the good of it. And no one want to keep it in a committee room. If we find it in committee room in the next 2 weeks, we'll have a discharge petition to find a specialized committee to handle that situation, because we need to have this policy in place to be able to address the issue. So we are on par with the president, because the president have this committee to address the situation that has to do with rice. We have a policy in the form of a bill that we're going to introduce and share with this committee, that we all can walk along the line of the president. When that bill reaches the table of the president and it has everything in it to address the situation that has to do with rice, believe me, the president automatically sign and that bill will go into motion. So a lot of things I think we are on par with. If we were discussing the issue there and there's no policy to address this issue, it could be something that I would say, but why you guys are not thinking? I'm saying I'm willing to share with you the bill that we already have, that we're going to introduce on the floor not later than Tuesday. Okay. So we're trying to solve this problem. We are thinking about it. The president is thinking about it. The president has constituted a committee to address this issue, and we're going to share this document with them. We discussed this same issue with the Minister of Agriculture. He came, yes, I'm on with it. So everyone who's trying to see this document, they are yes on with it. So we're not taking them all as investors for now. We're trying to manage this situation where we can have an entity that will move into the market to solve the issue of emergency and put in place policy that will help regulate this market, and will not see the level of this inflations we find in the price of rice and unnecessary scarcity created around the commodity we call rice.
All right, thank you. Before we go to Dr. Brobler, let us also wish, we got a lot of birthdays today. Let us wish Senator Abraham Darius Dillon a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Dillon. We hope you had a wonderful day. We thank God for your life. We thank you for all that you do. And what should I say? We're looking for a height for John Molo. Maybe Dillon will gain a few pounds. Happy birthday, Senator. Dr. Brobler.
No, he must talk good.
Oh, he must talk. Go ahead, Dr. Brobler.
So, Honorable Famula, you know better than most of us that the people you represent are mostly poor people. You are our representatives. Most of the people in our country are poor. But we ask them all the time to make sacrifices. So how do we do that? When we say, well, let the government fund this, we're asking the poor people to give a little more money that go to education, healthcare, and other things. So I want to make a suggestion, Representative. You and your colleagues are amongst the highest paid public servants in Liberia. And the microphones we're talking about, those seat microphones, are not very expensive. So you can go and lead, because you are a clear leader, challenge your colleagues. Each of you donate a mic. It'll probably be part of your legacy, because then tomorrow people will say there were a group of representatives here who actually equipped this place. So instead of asking for funding from anywhere, y'all can do that one. Each person donate a mic, and then we'll have seat mic for all of the honorables, and won't have the situation we have in Liberia. But let me say about the rights. You know, we continue to make the mistake that government is the solution to everything. Government is not. We have the Ministry of Agriculture. Then we created LACA, the Agriculture Commodity Regulatory Agency. Then the president just established his committee. Open the market. Make it a free market. Rice is the greatest commodity demanded in Liberia, more than gasoline, more than cement, more than anything. And demand drives the market. Why are we trying to control everything? Let's try that. Let's try a free market. And you let people who want to input rice. Yes, the Commerce Ministry can do a regulatory thing, but stand back a little bit and let the invisible hand work in the market. People will have enough rice, because more people will input rice and will meet demand. And it can be different variations of rice, because everybody ain't got the same amount of money anyway. Stop trying to control everything. Let the market work so that people can have their basic commodity. The same thing with gas. We always have shortage of gas, and so we're not solving problems. And then we keep thinking government is a solution. Clearly, it's not. We got so many agencies that duplicate responsibility, but no solution. Let's trust the market for a little bit. Rice is one of those things that the economists we call competitive market. It's perfectly competitive. It's homogeneous product. Let the market open and try it for 2 quarters and see what will happen to supply. Supply will be more, and price will go down, and will be better for poor people in life. I challenge you, Honorable Representative, you're a leader. I challenge you to go and challenge your colleague. And there are many of us who will be glad to come to the Honorable House and make presentations on this economic model that's not very complicated, but it will help Liberia. Let's stop trying to control everything. I think the government put too much burden on itself. They want to solve all the problems in the country. Let others in the private sector help you.
Thank you. Uncle Sam?
Yes, Representative Famula, I've been around this rice issue for a very, very long time, as you know, from 1979. And I don't know why you're referring to leeches as investors. They're not investors, they're leeches. You know, and it's not even a cartel. It is an assembly of people who only interest is to exploit the country. In 1979, there were just a few rice importers. Under Taylor, there was a managed monopoly under George Haddad. Under Ellen, you created an oligopoly, you know? And I heard my very good friend Amin Modar say, oh, we allow 3 Liberians to come in. What do you mean you allow 3 Liberians to come in? Dr. Brupla is absolutely correct. You know, open up the market. Don't require RPDs for rice. People will bring varying quality of rice from the lowest price to the highest price for people with different income. The government gets out of the politics of rice. But it will never happen because rice is the quickest and surest way to get rich in Liberia. I was deputy minister. I know what they promised me. I know how they manipulate it. And some of the people, they're still involved in rice. Abi Jaude, K&K, now Futa. And then today, or yesterday, I see President Joe Boyka put together a rice committee. There was a rice committee put together after the 1979 Rice by the Brownell Commission. There's a rice stabilization on a Tottenham. All kinds of committees put together. Committees do not solve problems. They shift responsibility. You have 2 ministries responsible for rice on the market. On the import side, you have the Ministry of Commerce, and on the production side, the Ministry of Agriculture. Why do you want to put Ambassador Minor, and I'm going to refer to his age again, and man, would just be relaxing with his kids to come and solve a political problem? And then you put Futa on the team with clear conflict of interest.
Are we saying you have a question?
Yes, I will come to my question. I'm late.
The premise is too long.
Okay, so Mr. Representative Fambula, you heard what I said. Why are we doing the same thing over and over again that led Liberia to the abyss in 1979? Why are we doing it again? When the people believe the government is responsible to keep the price of rice down, that is a responsibility no government should take. It should be supply and demand, open up the market, because if you open up the market, you will bring varying qualities. So why are you guys doing the same thing that your forefathers did? Why?
Mr. Jackson, the first thing is that I think you didn't get me well. My issue was that we have this bill that will come and create all of the opportunity and open this market, because from a clear look of things, there is a covert monopoly being put in place in the management of the importations of rice. It's something that we all have seen. This body will be responsible to open this market and create clear playing field that everyone can participate and create an opportunity for a stable price on our market, where they themselves can step in case of emergency and create opportunity for all those who have interest to come in. Because you cannot tell me you have only 5 investors and they've been given that monopoly to bring in rice.
Please don't call investor. I beg you for it. Please don't call investor. I take all to beg you. They're not investors, they're leeches. I beg you.
That's better choice of words.
No, but you know, I can use it, but please don't use it. I hold your foot. Yeah, don't. What are they investing in?
Uncle Sam, please let answer the question.
So Uncle Sam, the first thing for now that I expect to here is to see whether or not you are interested to see what we are talking about, to share the bill with you, to be able to have professionals, people looking at it to see whether we all can fix it in a way that will open this market and create an opportunity like Liberia would not be dragged back into another situation where in the next 3, 4, 5 years, another rest committee will come about. We are trying to address the situation, and we believe this policy will help to address it. This policy will help open this market by creating regulations, policy that you now have restricted lessons for individual who will try to manipulate the market. So you want the document, we can share with you, but what we're saying between now and Tuesday, we're going to get that document on the floor. And we believe we'll get the numbers to pass it.
You can share with Stanton, he'll put it in our chat room.
Okay.
Thank you.
And by Tuesday, if it is on the floor, we'll come back.
You can get your contact information too.
Ava, always want contact. Ava, go ahead, ask your question.
That's the fundamental, I believe, in life, to network and connect with people. So
absolutely.
Honorable Representative, I'll call you Honorable. Liberians want to get into this rice sector. And right now, we are pushing that agenda, mobilizing Liberians both on the ground and in the diaspora to help solve our problem. At the end of the day, Liberians have to solve Liberian problem, whether we're faced with oligopoly, monopoly, or few people or what. Like I said, I haven't seen your bill yet, but I want to read it, right? But I like the idea of a strategic reserve. Me and somebody were just talking about that today. I don't know whether 10% is the real number or what, but we need to get to that point where we do have a strategic reserve.
All major.
I didn't hear you.
Somebody have, go ahead.
I can continue?
Yes.
Yeah, continue.
Okay. So, probably I was saying, if I have my way, we'll liberalize the sector, right? But the sector still needs to be, really monitored. So if we have a regulator and we're moving towards a functional strategic reserve, no problem, we can do that. But my suggestion for the government to give Liberians an opportunity is when you look at the rice, nearly $100 of domestic cost is added on what comes in CIF. So if there's a way to provide incentives for us, whether through policy or direct executive order or some other means, on those 4 main things that are really high cost, from $15.84 up to $20, the APM terminal charges, the CMA charges, the financing and demurrage most times, or just unforeseen expenses that these importers have said are the standard costs that gets added to the price of the rice. That will help us bring in this rice cheaper, because I know some people reaching already, they have the rice coming in CIF at $609. The other people got it at $640. So we know that slight changes in the price of rice impactful. So from your policy, I don't know what's in it yet, but do you support Liberian entrance, and do you support special concession for new players? Because we know when the new players come in, the cartel or the monopoly or the oligopoly, they will do everything in their power to undermine or to discourage these people, destroy them, bring the price down, block the warehouses. So the whole rice value chain, it starts from the rice coming in at the port, the warehousing that's related to it. They got bonded warehousing. They got leverage in terms of when they pay. They don't pay right away. They have a history. So how do we level this playing field from your perspective that more Liberians can participate?
Yes, the first issue is that the issue of special concession for new players into the market. This body will be able to put in place regulation to create an opportunity for other players to come into the market. More than that, this policy will be able to address the issue of buffer or reserve stockpile of rice that will come into the market for emergency. So we believe if we had a reserve, especially knowing that this product is a political product, and as such, we need a reserve and we need other players into the market, whether we provide special concession to them, but that committee, that body should be in the position to regulate only the sector that has to do with rice, creating opportunity for other people to come into the market. So it is from that backdrop we believe this policy will be able to drive this market, ensure that we can have stability in the price and not have the kind of situation we are faced with. Yes, I think we all can look at it, and the laws, the bill will be put on the floor. We'll share with a member of the platform here, and by Tuesday, if it is placed on the floor, I will come right back here that we all can be able to discuss what was placed on the floor.
All right, Mama, do you have a question? Then we can go into our closing. Any question? Any question?
So you want to repeat the question?
All right, you want
He let ask question. He let to express his opinion. Go ahead, Rafi.
Oh no, when there are issues about question, I like to ask questions, right? But the honorable,
go ahead, make your comments.
Yeah, he's making promise to introduce a bill. We're looking forward to seeing it. We'll give our opinion when the bill comes up. So I don't get question on that one, but I get opinion on the historical pattern of the legislature in addressing public policy issues in the country. In most cases, they've never been a solution. The way they proceed, I remember you will see lawmakers will go to their district, and they will be highlighting as their achievement and say, I summon him as an achievement. The legislator will tell the people, I summon him. I wrote the letter that invited him as achievement. It was on my letter that he went to jail. So the issues, what they put priority on is on the politics and the news. And once the politics and the news get in the press, the root cause of the problem not addressed. This is not the first time we're talking race issue. This is not the first time the legislature inviting people on race issue. But in most cases, they have not taken the action needed to solve the problem. Rather, they do it to make political name and get in the newspapers. This time, we hear the honorable talking about a bill that he's thinking about that could potentially solve the problem. We look forward to that. We remain optimistic, but we also want to elect our people that actions like the one you saw in the legislature today, sent him to jail. They were fighting for him to go to jail. They were not fighting to find a solution to your arrest problem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, without going to jail, would not made a reparate drop. It will not. But they were fighting just to go to jail so they can go back and say, I made him go to jail. Why your cup of respect stay high? So we just want to enlighten our people on how chicanery, how these people behave, so they can be aware and know that some of the things they do, don't support them in it, but support this bill. If the bill is a good bill, we'll review it. There will be different opinions. Nothing can be perfect. But if that's something that can solve the problem, those are things our people should be supporting. Stand behind your lawmakers and make sure they address the problem and not just gloss over the problem. The only one tell our men to go to jail so they can take the news that will send him to jail. We are solving the rest issue. That's my opinion.
All righty. Honorable, you wanna respond to his opinion or leave his opinion as his opinion?
So I think it is his opinion, but like I said to my brother, some of us coming into the house, we've been there for little over 100 days. The Liberian people have a clear picture or an analysis of the kind of work we are doing in there and what we promise while campaigning to be able to achieve. We have a clear picture as to how we believe we should be able to govern ourselves. We have a picture as to what we want to achieve as legislator in there. So believe me, sometimes, you know what I really want for you to do, sometimes for us, is to have an assessment of the time in office. If the guys past lawmaker who said things they could not do follow up, but I think the new guys, the 55th, we are trying to be able to put in place a lot of policy, programs that will help to address some of the pressing needs of our country. So you use the past yardstick to judge us now, it will not be fair for some of us. Because take for an example, we raised the issue of the China Union. The China Union was not in the budget. China Union has been placed into the budget. China Union will pay at least 3.5 million to the Liberian government this year. China Union will provide scholarship. Now China Union started the role. They gone like 85% on the role. They in recent few days ago, the contractor on the role hasn't stopped. Yesterday, we called the company managers to ask them why. They have assured that they are going back on the roll by Monday or Tuesday. So I think you need to observe what we're doing now to that of what people are doing in the past and be able to have a fair analysis of how you can be able to grade us, but not to have a blanket statement for all of us. For all of us. To not be fair to us.
All right. I hear you. I have one question only, and the question is directly to you, and I want you to tell us, to evaluate your performance in the last 100 days. What have you done for your constituents that voted for you since you've been there?
Okay, so personally, the first thing I campaigned that within 100 days, I would ensure China Union be brought to book. China Union situation has been something I've advocated for that community for over 10 years. 2013, I and few other young people in that community were jailed. Why? Because we have said China Union was not living up to their agreement. And 2017, I got involved with the elections. I went to election and lost the election, a little over 300 plus votes. I went back to the community and stayed within the community with the mindset that if I'm given power in the first 100 days, I will ensure that China Union there will be a formal communication brought before the House for China Union concession to be reviewed in keeping with what that is enshrined in it in terms of compliance and social contribution to that community. In the first 100 days, China Union was brought to the House. There was a special committee, joint committee set up to investigate China Union. The joint committee came up with a report. The report said China Union was not in compliance. China Union communicated with the House that yes, they acknowledge that they are not being in compliance. They communicated with the House as to things, how they believe they were going to be able to mitigate or intervene in the community in solving some of the problems that they have failed to live up to in the past 15 years. Moreover, China Union moved into the community. They paid social security bills that they have owed for over 10 years. They moved on the Henley Road. They started rehabilitating the road. They have said within 6 months in the dry, they will rehabilitate the road before the rainy season and put asphalt on the road in the next 6 months. So I think most of the things we campaign on, reaching out to our community and showing that those things that matter most to them have been put in motion, that we can achieve a lot in the next 6 years.
All right.
So you can have an assessment of what I said during the campaign. You can have an assessment of what I'm doing now.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Famula. If you want to give us your closing comments now, you can do that.
Yeah.
You got a question, Uncle Sam?
No. I have a little headache. I just wanted to say something quickly to leave because it's a biting headache.
Headache.
Yeah.
Headache.
Yeah. I want us to, Dr. Brockler and Abba, I want us to consider the strategic reserve and versus the buffer stock, right? Because there are two differences, in terms of how they operate, okay? And the inventory carrying cost of a strategic reserve would be too high for the country to bear. But like a buffer stock that gives like a floating average of like monthly consumption, say like 90 days consumption would be much more, because when you talk about a strategic reserve, you're actually putting that aside and you're not using it. And you know, rice is a perishable commodity. So I want us to just basically make that clarification to the public. And then when the representative gives us whatever documentation they have, I think we should try to provide some guidance on the strategic reserve and the buffer stock. I don't know, Representative Footer, you heard what I said, right? Buffer stock and strategic reserve, right?
We have the issue of buffer stock in the bill.
Okay.
That will serve as a means of
but not strategic
reserve,
right?
is a perishable goods.
Yeah.
We are aware of the fact that rice is a perishable goods. So we have a buffer stock where people, the rice in question will be kept for a given time and taken into the market. Because we are aware, always, almost every year, there is a need for rice, and there is an unwanted emergency of rice situation in this country every year. So this buffer stock that will be put in place will help ease this stress and will alleviate the unwanted increase in price. So yes, we have that issue considered, and we're going to look at it keenly. All of us will look at the policy and let's see how best we make it better.
So let me run. I got a little headache. I don't know where it's coming from, but I need to run. I beg. I hold your food. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Representative Family, you want to give us some closing comments?
So, like I said, and they glad we are working on that bill, and latest Tuesday, I think I'll be back here Tuesday. We pray to introduce it, and I'll try to share it with the CEO so he can share with Ava. I think I have Ava number, and I will ask him to just hit me up again so I can share with him. All of us can look at it between now and Tuesday. That when we introduce it, it'll be something that has been seen by a lot of different professional people that will help to see whether we can address this issue. Because why are you crying? Oh, our stable food is in the hands of foreigners. But they are here. They are business actors. They are people trying to control your market. You need to be able to put in place a policy that will help create an additional players into the market. And by creating this opportunity for other Liberians, this policy will help to address conditions in which how Liberians can come into the market, how they can participate, how whether or not there can be special concession put in place for them when they come into the market. Because if you cannot put in place special concessions for new players in the market, the current investors can play to their can play even at a loss to ensure that this person get out of the market immediately. Because if you think you are coming to sell at the rate of $17, this man who believes he's been in the market for over 20, he's willing to give in at least 20% of his profit now to get you out of the market when you are saying a loss and step out. Why you trying to pay other people loans and other things? He's moving ahead with a similar price that he started with. So a lot of things need to be put in place, and I think it is from that backdrop with the current legislator in there, we are trying to look for ways in which we can try to solve some of the problems, because we cannot be sitting there. People are asking, what is unfolding? Is it that the lawmakers are not thinking out of the box? We need to think out of the box and solve some of the problems. While we are thinking about the bills that has to do with rice, we have similar thing on the issues of gas. We observe the president, probably the economic advisor to the president, have asked the president to set up a committee on the issue of rice. So we are open. We're going to share the bill with them. We're going to talk to them. We have already talked with the minister. We have shared it with the Minister of Agriculture. And we're going to do that with the Minister of Commerce to see whether all of us can look at it. And when it is placed on the floor, we can run with it, and the president can ensure that this idea can come to reality, and the Liberian people can benefit from the decision of the House. It is the kind of leadership we believe we want to provide for the Liberian people. So I look forward to another meeting again on Tuesday, because when we introduce it, while we have had a lot of back and forth conversation about it over the weekend, we can introduce something that meet the expectations of everyone.
All right. Thank you so much. We look forward to reading it and adding our input. Thank you for always coming on Swoon and sharing your views. I hope you will take the suggestion into consideration. Each one donate a mic.
You know the good thing about it. The good thing about it, while talking, I think someone sent me a message that say, I don't know where this person is. They send their number that they are willing to donate mark to the house.
Don't take that money, Representative.
So no,
you go buy no mics and the legacy will be yours.
I said message.
All right.
I said I received a message. You gave a suggestion. Your suggestion was that family go out there and be the first to buy a mark to see whether other guys will not follow suit. So let me get out Tuesday in my position.
Yeah, when you buy a mic, make sure you bring it here so we can see it.
But no. People got to understand that communication has to be network. Individual people buying mics, not the solution. It's a nice thing to talk about, but it's not the solution.
But it's something that is more than that.
The speaker has to control, or somebody there has to control, so the same noise making cannot happen when all of them got their own mics
and speaking at the same time. So it has
But
to
what they
be.
can also do is you can find out
But the mic got step one, though, Va. The mic is step one. Then the decorum, the parliamentary, then that's step two. If you get the mic, you're in a better position to do that.
So
Thank
get what the message says. Let me just tell you what the message says. Like similar thing Tukwa is saying. The president says his foundation want to provide all necessary equipment, not just mark, equipment, example, mark, voting machine, and basic office training to members of the House to be able to address this situation. Because we all we are not.
Is he that Chinese person?
No, this person needs. What's the president name? I'm open to that. So I think for privacy sake, they are not Chinese. And if they are Chinese, I will not accept it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, that's a step in the right
If they are Chinese, I will not accept it.
All right. All
Okay,
right.
thank you
so
again. We
much.
see
Thank
Tuesday.
you.
All
Dr.
right.
Broblek, you want to start with your closing? Ava, myself, and then James will take us home. Let me just comment on Siata Tengbe. She's one of the faithful. She watches phone all of the time. Please go to her page. Siata is taking part in. See, when I hear, so I can't use my tata to talk. My small tata he gave me today. Siata is taking part in a competition that's gonna name her as Mom of the Year or Special Mom. Please go to her page, Siata Tengbe. She's a Liberian woman. She's now qualified in the quarterfinals. She's the only Liberian in this competition. It's a global competition for nurses and for mothers, and she's been able to get people to vote for her up to this point. I want you to go to her page. Let's support this Liberian mom. She's a mother of 5 children, works as a nurse. She deserves to win this, and I want us to be able to support her. So Siata is in the feed commenting. I've spoken to her. Just go to her page and let's support her. Let's support this Liberian woman. Let her win and put our name out there. There are a lot of perks to the win, so it'll be a good thing, but get all that information from her. All right, Dr. Broblek.
Thank you, Glendy. By the way, you did it fantastic. Holding it down tonight.
Thank you.
I just say, for all those who are listening, especially for our friends in government, please trust the market and stop trying to fix all the problems in the country. The partners that we refer to, Glendy, who always have the economic power to help us, look at their economies. They are not trying to control everything. It's not a conglomerate of monopolies, oligopolies. The free market, okay, is a big part of that because that's where you produce the most, because it's a competitive place. It's a place where merit prevails. This rice thing, he made a good point. He was right. This whole, reserve thing is costly and it's complicated, but we don't need reserve. What we need is an open market. If you open the market, there will never be shortage of rice. There is no market in the world where there is a demand as high and significant as rice. In our case, our staple, and then no supply. It's not like rice is short on the international market, but open the market, we've controlled it for so long, and it doesn't even make sense anymore. And then we find ourselves in this place where the government keep creating new committees, new agency, new authority for rice. Open the market and then have a 5-year plan so we can move towards self-sufficiency. Even if after 5 years, 5 counties can produce enough rice to feed 5 counties, we've made progress. We can't keep having the same conversation decade after decade when every soil in Liberia can grow rice. We need a plan, we need to stick to it, and we need to make the investment consistently. And over time, this country of only 5 million people will to feed itself. But for now, open the market. Stop forming committees. Open the market. Let the market work. That's what I want to say. Rice is the most important thing.
All right, Ava.
Yeah. Before I forget, I've been thinking about it. This whole issue. I read something, and I didn't read the whole story, but like a headliner that said 80% or 90% of the people coming from Ghana are drug addicts, supposedly. If that is true, and was going to be from the guy with a repatriation agency or something, that's a serious problem that hopefully we'll look at and be able to solve, because we already have a complex and compound drug problem in the country. And to bring our brothers and sisters back who are, supposedly addicted, or maybe they tested positive, is a scary proposition, because again, jobs are limited. Having them get absorbed in the economy and be, responsible citizens who can contribute is not an easy challenge. So I hope this is something that is being monitored and the government is looking at. Yes, it's rice right now. Rice is the focus. I believe the minister, Dad, wants Liberians to get in the sector. Hopefully we as Liberians can come together on this and be able to have a unified front in how we enter the market. That is not just a flash in the pan or ordering one container of rice and then, that ends it. We should have some kind of sustainable plan to be able to be a player in the market and gradually grow. Yes, the first 1, 2, 3 times may not be at the level we want, but it has to be something that we try to do as a people to start solving our own problems. And in alignment with opening the market for Liberians, I think the domestic production should really be a push. I know I've heard the ministry talking about, utilizing the wetlands and, the lowland for, planting rice across the country. That is something that we must do. And also we have the ability to export some of the rice we grow because people want it out there. So how we balance what we can export with what the locally produced rice and how it's consumed in the country. Hopefully this, rice group, or like I mentioned there, the Liberal Commodity Regulatory Agency, Agricultural Commodity, LACRA, could actually be responsible for doing that already. It could be in a mandate. So we need to look at all options in terms of how we can solve this problem, because it's very important. And I must commend the lawmakers trying to find a solution in real time to a problem that's really affecting the entire nation. And hopefully they can prove Mame wrong, that the intervention never worked, that they can actually be able to do something, to help the people of Liberia and help us resolve this rice problem on a sustained basis, not just a one shot, And maybe with another time we can discuss the differentiation between a buffer stock and a strategic reserve. One is really short term, the buffer stock. The other, the strategic reserve, is more long term and more, policy oriented. So we got to, look at how we do it. Congratulations to Siata. She's asking us to vote for her. Siata Tengbe, you'll go vote. Put the link there now so we can go vote. Oh, the supermom.org 2024, Siata Tengbe. Okay. I'll check it out and get you the vote. Thank you. But while people saying you're not Liberian, call Glennie, let you hear your voice to know you're Liberian or not. Thank you, Glennie.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Great show. Great being here. Thank you to all of the viewers who are watching. I tend to want to agree with all of the sentiments about the House. They need to be able to do something. We're not asking them to have perfect decorum. We're not asking them to not be themselves. What we're asking them is to represent what we should look at. We should be proud of them when we see them. This is an ongoing thing for the House. The Senate is a whole lot better than the House of Representatives. And so we want to continue every opportunity I have to talk about them and how they appear and how I see them. I will always do that. They need to be able to work on it. It doesn't look good. They're always talking over each other. They're always yelling. Everybody's fighting to talk. No one wants the other person to speak. And it's just so, of course, the representative now here, I wanted to respect him. It's so disorderly. But we want to hope for, we want to make sure that they work on that and they bring some order to the House and hear one another so that we can hear the interest. We'll continue to follow the issue with Ami Modad. We hope they are not looking into yes, if he disrespected the house, if they called him and they found out the story and what he did was wrong, and it's wrong. But I think their focus needs to be on the rights issue. How are they going to resolve that issue and resolve the problem? Sending Amin Mamadar to jail, I don't think that's what Liberians are focusing on right now. I think they're focusing on that is a power struggle for them to say, okay, our house, we were the first to send a government official to jail. I think that's something that we should be focused on. But it was a great show so far. Kind of quiet day. There was a news story today about a yellow machine, but we didn't address that yellow machine. Maybe tomorrow we'll hear again about yellow machine. Another story came up. Thank you, everybody. James, we'll take it over to you.
Yeah, thank you. And I think it was great. Although I was.
Well, let Glennie just tell what a story about now, so we can go and start thinking.
No, I'm not here for a change. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, so again, many thanks to everyone, especially the lawmaker. I love how he, touched all of the points that were raised. And I have interest in the bill. He's talking about the proposed bill. We hope that when it is put forth, it will be a 4G bill, because many lawmakers came and they brought great ideas, but today those bill ended up in committee rooms, and today they are still there, and we might not see them coming up. And like I said, the rest importers, they are powerful to make that happen, because to have your way through in the House is through negotiations, and negotiations come with money. So you're going to have lawmakers who will go for that, who will go against that bill, the anti-lawmakers of the bill. And I'm not accusing them that they are going to be sponsored by the cartel, but we should expect that the sponsorship will play. And if they see that the bill will disturb or will create problems for their cartel, they are going to suppress it, and we might not see that bill. That is why I asked for quick impact actions, and we hope at the end of the day, those lawmakers will find their way through. And just another update, just before we go, there was this issue with light at the Freeport. The director, that is the managing director, Sekou Dukle, is reporting that lights are back on at the National Port Authority. They used to have light just during the day, and in the night they just do maneuver, but now he's reporting that they have full lights at the port. So the port is not in darkness again.
That's beautiful. All right. Good night, everybody. James,
yeah.
Nelson?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am. It's good to see you.
I know it. All right. Yeah, good night.
Okay, you too.
Okay,
have a good night. Yeah. Yeah. James, the boy from Giza Boyga. The
what?
The internet situation, we're being informed about that.
You might not have a show.
Yeah, certainly. Not might. But it will not go on. The broadcast is heavily dependent on internet now. Years back, once you dealing with radio, you have.
But you can have the radio version. You can have the radio version and forget about it online. Just like what's on your mind for a couple of minutes.
Come on, James. We'll take a break tonight. The late night show will be on tomorrow.
Forget your guys, bro. Do the show.
We don't mind, James. We had a break in last night, and I think 2 editions of the show, but we're gonna come heavy. We're gonna come big tomorrow. It's gonna be a great one. Yeah, but James, it's good to see you.
Yeah, this internet issue, it should be from 12 a.m. to 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
But
yeah, 10 a.m.
I'm not sure of that.
Yeah,
you might go for 24 hours. I'm not saying that is it, but I'm thinking that we might likely go beyond the 10 a.m. session. But we're gonna be checking on all you guys. We hope You'll get internet to come back on tomorrow.
We are about to be completely disconnected from the rest of the world.
I'm telling you, bro. It's painful.
It's gonna be like 10 hours of being in jail. 10 hours of not knowing what's happening across the internet.
And we will not have time to call our friends and family back home.
But direct call is going to be available, so I think.
How will direct call be available? How will direct call be available? Internet? Oh
no, not internet. I mean direct
okay.
call.
It's only for internet.
Yeah, it's only for internet. Direct call will be available.
So anyways, we're gonna be gossiping about you when you come back on. Then that's it. But
yeah, all the Tabata when you're ready on Facebook, I come back with debunk. Yeah, man. But I think it's been a good one, and we look forward to being here. Manasneni is asking what's the new time for the show. No, the show time is still the same. It's 12 a.m. Liberian time. I think it's 8 p.m. Eastern time. I stand to be corrected on that, but it's 12 a.m. Liberian time.
That would be 2 a.m. my time.
Oh, you're 2 hours ahead.
Yeah.
Wow. So right now it means that right now is 1:36.
Yeah, I have 24 minutes to yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's so amazing how we in one word, but the time is just so different. You know, all the things that we're talking and looking at the time. So we got 14 what? Not 14, but 24 minutes.
Yeah, so hey, my man, we hope to see you guys back on tomorrow or Saturday. We hope to see you back.
So let's take tomorrow. Tomorrow 10 o'clock. 10 a.m.
Well, let's say I should come back on Monday.
Yeah, no, you didn't get time. But at the end of the day, internet will be restored. The LTA has confirmed the information that we're gonna have that break in for 10 hours. So it's not just hearsay or somebody say, but the authority that is clothed with the responsibility to regulate the sector, the telecommunication sector, has come up with a release on that. So it means that it is now official. So all your internet stuff you have to do, you're in Liberia here. So, but it's not just going to be affecting Liberia. It's going to go across
Africa.
So you have countries like Abidjan, so that's Ivory Coast. Dakar is in Senegal.
That's Senegal.
Yeah, Senegal, Dakar. And so Sierra Leone as well is going to be affected. So Guinea is going to be affected. And Liberia.
Nigeria.
So I don't see Nigeria here. Yeah. But that's what it is.
But they give reason why?
Yeah, so let me just read this one from the LTA. It says the Cable Consortium of Liberia announces that the ACE submarine cable network is scheduled to reform repair works on segment of the optical fiber cable between Dakar and Abidjan, which is segment 2.1 of the ACE submarine cable network that connects Liberia to the outside world. And so it says, according to the release from the CCL, that's signed by Henry W. Benson, Chairman and CEO, the scheduled repair will be performed at 31st May 2024, 00. That's 12 a.m. Let me put it that way. 12 a.m. To the 31st of May, 1000 hours or 10 o'clock. Let me put it that way. 10 a.m. So it's going to be for 10 hours during these repair hours. All internet traffic transiting ACE segment 2.1, including traffic from Monrovia, Abidjan, Freetown, Conakry, and
Dakar.
and Banjul to Europe will be down. The cable consultant of Liberia's business office and technical staff will be available to provide you with answers to any concerns relative to this press release you may have. So that's it. It's from the LTA. It's official. So if you want to, connect with your folks, have all your conversations, and rest for 10 hours, and they will be back. Yeah. But I just want to throw this out quickly just before we go. Again, an ardent follower of the Spoon Network, our show, Spoon Talk, a top engager in the comment section, Madam Siata Tengbe is participating in the Super Mom competition. If you're a Liberian, please go out there and vote for her. She's been posting the link in the comment section. Siata Tengbe is her name. Vote for a Liberian. Push her. When one Liberian wins, Liberia wins. It's a win for the entire country. So, yes, that's where we are. So, James, unless you have something else to say, I think we're gonna wrap it up from here. I want to say thanks to all of our folks. It's a good thing, and thanks as well, James. I see we are back on Fabric TV now. A lot of people have been reaching out. They said they were not getting us on Fabric. We're live now on Fabric TV on Facebook. We're yet to restore our broadcast on Super TV, but you can keep looking up there. We will subsequently restore our broadcast on Super TV. We're live on Facebook, on Spoon TV as well. And on YouTube, we're live, Spoon Talk Live. And one thing, if you're following us on Spoon TV, you're not following Fabric TV, follow all the social media handles on Facebook. If you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, but you're not on Facebook, just try to follow us on Facebook. And to our over 500,000 followers on Spoon TV, kindly go to YouTube. I know a lot of you have YouTube handles. Go to YouTube, search for Spoon Talk Live, subscribe to the YouTube handle so that you get access to all of our programs. And again, we want to say thanks to all of you for being here with us tonight on this edition of Spoon Talk. I'm Nelson Colette, James Goodey Flomo here, and I think that's how we'd like to draw down the curtains on the show tonight. Bye-bye for now.